Raced at South Boston Speedway for a number of years, won there.
Hello everybody and welcome to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series here at Martinsville Speedway. It's the NFPA 250, 250 laps ahead of us. It's time to bring up the action. Let's head down to NASCAR Radio for today's action.
You go strap in.
A lot of emotions, just a lot of hard work to get to this moment, and a lot of really good people that led to it. So just so thankful. I mean, it's what I wanted to do my entire career, and for Dale and Kelly, LW, Mr. Hendrick, all of them to give me a shot. It's absolutely unbelievable. So what a big crowd we got here today, and man, I appreciate each and every one of you.
I know, I can see the tears in your eyes. You're getting ready to go do battle, and you had a really fast race car in practice. This is not just for fun. You're out here to take a checker flag. What is it going to take for you today to get your first win here on your debut?
Yeah, just got to be perfect. I mean, no mistakes. Pit road's going to be new to me. I've never done it. So, that's going to be my biggest thing I probably need to focus on, and just being smart in the race, trying to keep defenders on it. So I think once we get going, I get in a groove, I'll be fine. Just got to be patient those first few laps and see where we stack up car-wise.
Have fun today and enjoy it.
Thanks so much.
Lee Pulliam going to start 12th after not getting a chance to qualify due to the weather, but he is a confident race car driver back home here at Martinsville Speedway. The crowd anxiously awaiting to see what one of the legends here at Martinsville Speedway can put on a show here this afternoon.
His name goes a long way in these parts. Matter of fact, South Boston Speedway named a section of grandstands after him 11 years ago.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Today's race, 250 laps, 131.5 miles. Stage breaks will come at laps 60 and 120. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart. Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
Back in Martinsville, getting set to go for a great afternoon of racing here at the Martinsville Speedway. Back trackside to Steve Post.
Brent Cruz down here gets the keys to the car, and what I mean by this is he's been running a limited schedule because he's 17 years old. On Monday, he turns 18 and is eligible to run all the racetracks. Martinsville's a short track, so this falls under the 17-year-old Brent. So this is the beginning of your full-time Xfinity or O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Just what's your sentiment, what's your emotion, and how good is the car as you get ready to go here at Martinsville?
Really good. I'm really excited. All praise to the Lord for putting me in this position. But yeah, just excited to represent Mobile One this weekend. We have a really fast number 19 Toyota Supra. I love Martinsville, so this is a great place to do it, to kick off my full-time season now, I guess. Missed a few, but yeah, ready to get going. Have a lot of really great drivers around me. All around, just going to try to learn all day, and just excited to kick it off.
Very exciting time, that's for sure. That's Brent Cruz, one of the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers. Chris Wilner, you've caught another of the JGR drivers.
And that's Taylor Gray, Steve Post, who starts 13th today after not getting a chance to qualify. But last time we were here, you got your first career win, the grandfather clock and all that. We're back to a really good racetrack for you. How is your Toyota Camry, and you have room for a second clock here today?
Yeah, I feel like everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing has done a really good job prepping our race cars this week. From everyone at Operation 300 and Jason and the 54 team. So I feel like we always have a chance every time we walk through these gates, right? This is the place that the 54 team has circled on their schedule every time we come here, and know that we're going to be in contention to win at the end of these things. So feel really good about our chances. Just got to keep up with the racetrack and just kind of be passively aggressive. We start 13th. We started 13th. I feel like the last few times we've been here, so maybe it's our lucky starting spot. But just keeping those clean and get up front to where we know we're capable of running, and just try to manage the race.
That's Taylor Gray going to start 13th this afternoon. The fall race winner would love to add a spring race Martinsville victory to his resume.
That's the perfect way to do it. Cap him off here at Martinsville.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at RacingElectronics.com today. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency. The RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at RacingElectronics.com today.
Back here at Martinsville Speedway, drivers have been introduced to the crowd. They made their way alongside their race cars, getting some sponsor photos taken and the whatnot. You know, Mike, the way this NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts season has started off, it's been all about Junior Motorsports, but you dig a little deeper into the numbers. Junior Motorsports has had at least one car finish inside the top 10 in 63 consecutive races.
It's amazing what Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kelly Earnhardt Miller, L.W. Miller have all put together over there. They've got the right people in the right spots. They're going for their 5th consecutive win today. Justin Allgaier, Kyle Larson have all done the winning along with Shane Van Gisbergen. And when you look at what they're doing, they always seem to answer the bell on Saturdays. It may not be pretty up front, but they certainly know how to close the deal.
You say answer the bell, and that's almost an indirect pun, because when they win races, they bring the victory bell out in the shop, and everybody in the shop gets to come up and ring the victory bell after every win. So there's been an awful lot of noise in and around that shop here as of late.
You've also got drivers that have stepped up trying to steal that thunder and take that bell-ringing opportunity away. You mentioned Jesse Love, Carson Kvapil, Corey Day, some of the few drivers that have stepped up to go toe-to-toe with Junior Motorsports. Now trackside.
Please rise as you are able. Remove your hats. And veterans, render a hand salute as a Grimsley High School Color Guard presents our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome Senior Pastor at First Baptist Church in East Martinsville, Charles Whitfield.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, for this beautiful spring day, for every opportunity, and for a day of new beginnings, we say thank you. I pray today for every driver, every official, every crew member. I pray that you would bless them to be safe, that you would cover them, that your power would bless them in this competition. As the engines roar, I pray that this would be a day of excellence, a day that your name is glorified. Keep us again safe and cover us. In the name of Christ we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome from the Henrico County Fire Department, the Henrico Fire Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The NFPA 250 for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is coming up.
NASCAR Live Race Day has been brought to you by Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. Be part of the action at ToyotaRacingUSA.com.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Fallon Kowicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored, real-time audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
'Cause the sun don't shine bright enough. 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 'Cause the sun don't shine
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Live on the Motor Racing Network, it's the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Let's get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Oh boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Today, the NFPA 250 from Martinsville Speedway. Brought to you by NFPA, because safety doesn't happen by chance. By Hardee's. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards, and we'll start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards with every dollar spent and order ahead. By Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco. Performance is what we do. And by Toyota Racing. Your race, your story. Be part of the action at ToyotaRacingUSA.com.
Welcome back to the Martinsville Speedway. We are ready for NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series racing. Today is the NFPA 250. You know, Alex, we just watched driver introductions. We've watched pre-race ceremonies, watched drivers walk back and forth with each other, shaking hands and whatnot. This is the congenial time of day that normally ends with throwing of hands and therapy.
Yeah, that's part of racing at Martinsville Speedway. Yeah, sometimes you wonder, and there are drivers used to say, when you put your helmet on, sometimes you buckle it up too tight and it cuts a little blood off to your brain. But, you know, tempers tend to fly. You feel like you've got position, you got a good race car, and somebody just comes up and wipes you out. You're going to be a little upset about that, and this is a perfect opportunity to show your displeasure.
Well, it's also a perfect opportunity to show performance and skill sets, and that's often what we see here in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series when they race at the Martinsville Speedway, a half-mile racetrack. We'll go further in depth with more discussion when we bring Dave Moody in, but this racetrack asks a lot of man and machine. It asks for driver temperament, it asks for patience, but a good working race car and a driver with his head on right can get the job done. We've seen it time and time again here at Martinsville.
So much about getting around this place is about rhythm. The rhythm with your hands, the rhythm with your feet. If you're a right foot breaker, meaning you use your right foot, take it off the accelerator, that tends to cause some problems for some drivers here at Martinsville based off of what we've heard. Left foot breakers tend to have some success here because it's about that rhythm going back and forth with those pedals.
These drivers are about to get in that rhythm. We're about to go trackside for the command, and then it'll be 250 laps of NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series racing on a very chilly afternoon here in southwestern Virginia. So glad you're spending your Saturday afternoon with us here on the Motor Racing Network. We're in for a dandy as Justin Allgaier and Rajat Karuth are lined up on row number 1. Brandon Jones, Brent Cruz, Carson Quapple rounding out the top 5. We'll have the full starting lineup coming for you shortly. But first now, trackside for the command to fire engines.
Martinsville Speedway. Here to give the command to fire engines, please welcome President and Chief Executive Officer for the National Fire Protection Association, Jim Pauley.
On behalf of the employees and the members of the NFPA, drivers, start your engines.
38 NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series engines come to life. We're getting ready to race at Martinsville.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
Not a cloud in the sky here in South Central Virginia, and Martinsville is where we are. 56 degrees is the temperature. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Looking for weekly motorsports podcasts to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
Now, here's the starting lineup.
After qualifying was washed out yesterday, they line them up by the rule book. Starting 38th is Ross Chastain. Myatt Snyder starts 37th. LeVar Scott goes 36th, then Kyle Sieg 35th. Brad Perez starts 34th. Joey Gase 33rd. Ryan Ellis goes 32nd, and Josh Williams starts 31st.
Austin Green will start in the 30th position with Luke Baldwin in 29th. Wayne Perkins is the 28th starter with Dr. Patrick Staropoli starting 27th. 26th is Austin Hill of Richard Childress Racing. Garrett Smithley will start 25th. Harrison Burton will start in 24th with Jed Burton in 23rd. It'll be Dean Thompson rolling off from 22nd, and Josh Balicki will start today's race in 21st.
Jeremy Clement starts 20th. Andrew Patterson will start 19th. Nick Sanchez goes 18th. Brennan Poole 17th. William Sawalich starts 16th, and Anthony Alfredo 15th. The 14th starter is Ryan Sieg. Starting 13th is Taylor Gray. Starting 12th is Lee Pulliam, and Sam Mayer starts 11th.
Starting 10th will be Parker Retzloff. Sammy Smith will roll off 9th. Jesse Love will start 8th with Corey Day in 7th. Starting 6th this afternoon, it's Sheldon Creed with Carson Quapple in 5th. Starting 4th is Brent Cruz. Brandon Jones rolls off in 3rd, and it's a Junior Motorsports front row. Rajah Caruth will start in 2nd, and Justin Allgaier will lead the field to the green flag in his Branch Chevrolet.
Martinsville Speedway, 0.526 miles around, shaped like a paper clip, 800-foot straightaways, and then the tight corners. And once off turn number 2, they'll come into the view of our Dave Moody from Barry, Vermont.
Thank you, Alex Hayden. Good afternoon, everybody. They don't call it the paper clip for nothing. Half a mile in length, 2 drag strips with very tight corners at each end. The layout of this Martinsville Speedway, 12 feet of banking, degrees of banking. Let's try that again in the corners. Not nearly enough to medicate an ill-handling race car. Compounding that, different track surfaces. The bottom 2 lanes are concrete. The top 2 lanes are asphalt. There's also about a 3-inch high curb on the inside of these corners. If you bump it as a driver, it'll move your car without your permission 3 or 4 feet to the left, and we've seen a lot of cars get in trouble by doing that over the years. We'll cover all the action from high above turn 3 here at Martinsville.
Field is on the racetrack right now to begin several pace and parade laps. Let's take one final sweep to the pits. First to Steve Post.
Mike, we've made a lot about Lee Pulliam's debut here in the NASCAR Raleigh Auto Parts Series, but there's another driver doing that as well, Andrew Patterson. He is a 23-year-old native of Dayton, Ohio. When he was 19 years old, he he had a dream of working in NASCAR, and he drove from Dayton to Charlotte, North Carolina, and the first guy that let him work at the race shop was Jordan Anderson. He was one of the first employees for Jordan Anderson Racing. While he was working for Jordan Anderson, he built his own Arca Menard Series car, drove some late model racing, and as Jordan tried to piece together this season, they came up with the idea of 8 races for Andrew Patterson, and this is race number 1. Now, he did test with a team at Rockingham preseason. Next week will be his second start down at Rockingham, but making his debut here is Andrew Patterson. He starts 19th. Chris Wilner.
It's been a career start, Steve, in 2026 for Sammy Smith. Through 6 races, he has 4 straight top 10s and comes into today solidly in the points in 6th. And that trend could continue. It's at one of his best racetracks. Sammy's 6 straight top 10s here at the Paperclip are one off Sam Hard's record here at Martinsville, and it comes off a runner-up finish in the fall of last season. But today is all about redemption for Sammy, more so from this spring race a year ago. He was in a war with Taylor Gray that left both drivers feuding outside of the care center. Smith was penalized with a points deduction and a fine in the race loss. Now, his crew chief Corey Shea told me today they're taking a whole new big picture approach, and that it was quite the lesson learned from a year ago. And today is all about maximizing their race car. They were good in practice, and that composure at the end of the race could be the difference between Sammy getting a win here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chris, for the final thought before the drop of the green flag. We're a couple of laps away from that happening. Want to welcome to the broadcast the winner of the Cookout Clash from Bowman Gray Stadium, NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Preece. Ryan, what is it about Martinsville Speedway that puts a smile on your face?
Everything. Every single thing about this place. I think, really, if you grew up being a motorsports fan or a race fan, you were a short track fan at one point in time. And when you come here to Martinsville, the gear of the car, the way you got to get into the corner, the wrap of the curb, how you choose to pass people, whether it's what I would call with respect or if you just want to harpoon them out of the way, can dictate how your day is going to be.
How do you go about keeping a calm head? Because while you may be racing on one style of racing or one code of conduct, you do have others that subscribe to a totally different one.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the boxing match, right? Is how easy do you want your day to go, or how difficult do you want it to go? And they're long races. So how you choose to treat this initial start or some of these restarts can really, really make your day pretty tough.
More times than not in a NASCAR race, no matter what track it is, you try to play the chess match, the mental side of it. Is there such a thing as a chess match at Martinsville?
Oh, absolutely. There's some people that like to play checkers, and usually they're the ones spinning into the fence. So it's definitely a game of chess, and it's one that I really enjoy playing.
We're getting the one-to-go signal right now really quick. How was Cup Series practice and qualifying for you earlier today?
Yeah, our practice actually went really, really well. Was extremely happy with how our Fastenal Bodyguard Ford Mustang Dark Horse drove. And in qualifying, I felt like I could have definitely done a better job for us. So we're going to have to drive through the field and pass some cars, but certainly feel like our RFK Ford Mustangs are solid.
We've got 250 laps of racing coming up right now for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Justin Allgaier, who starts first, has opted to start the race from the outside lane. That'll give Rajah Caruth the inside of the front row as they make their way into turn number 3 as we get set to put them under the green flag to call the start of the NFPA 250 for the Motor Racing Network from Milford, Delaware. Here's Mike Bagley.
Pull your belts tight. 250 laps of NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series racing coming your way right now on the Motor Racing Network. Field comes out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air. Justin Allgaier scampers away by himself for a moment, headed to 1.
Side by side into the banking of turn number 1. Now Allgaier around the outside. A little bit of cooperative racing there by the Junior Motorsports teammates. Allgaier to the lead. Second spot, Rajah Caruth. Brent Cruz, though, challenging high.
Cruz works that outside lane on the red, white, and blue Toyota. To his left, a red, white, and blue Chevrolet stacked up side by side for second.
Caruth on the inside. Brent Cruz on the outside. Brandon Jones runs the low line in the 5th spot. They're still
right now from second on back. Caruth will grab the spot, headed to 1.
Brent Cruz finds a little open asphalt and shoehorns his way back down into the low low groove. He'll settle for the number 3 position. Cruz on the outside. Brandon Jones runs the low line in the 5th spot. They're still 2x2 back through the tail end of the top 10.
Justin Allgaier basically looks like the pace car right now. He brings the field out of turn number 4. He's out front all by himself. But the stacking up of traffic happening right now from second on back. Caruth will grab the spot, headed to 1.
Brent Cruz finds a little open asphalt and shoehorns his way back down into the low groove. He'll settle for the number 3 position. Down the back straightaway and headed for turn number 3. Now the top 5 have all gone single file. Jesse Love still up high.
He's trying to find some room at the end downstairs, but Brandon Jones occupies that real estate. Carson Quapple, he'll try to dig to the bottom of the racetrack and keep Jesse Love stuck topside.
Quapple keeps that inside lane filled. Jesse Love nowhere to go right now. He's either going to go forward a spot or backward as much as 5 or 6. There's no room at the end.
Back for the 6th position. Coming off the corner, Jesse Love on the outside, trying to wedge his way to the bottom of the racetrack. Carson Quapple making his life very difficult.
Quapple says, no, sir, no room down here. You're going to hang another lap at least in that outside lane. Front 5 now. Front 6 almost nose to tail. Jesse Love, though, still hanging tough up high.
Ryan Priest, how difficult is it to just be stuck on that outside lane?
Well, it can be really challenging for sure. I mean, especially on new tires, the bottom is the fast way around, and usually after 2-3 laps, if you're stuck out there, you need to find a hole. So it looks like there's a couple guys that are struggling to do that.
What's it like trying to get down to the bottom lane of the racetrack like that? You're trying to find that hole, but there's just nothing there.
Well, it's all about timing. Your exit of the corner dictates if you're able to get a hole, and then the guy that's behind you that wants to keep you from getting down, he doesn't have to be nice and allow you in. So, yeah, it's extremely challenging.
Parker Retzlaff was the gentleman in this maneuver. He'll back up, and that gives Jesse Love the hole he needed. Love will fall in line 7th, but Sam Mayer's the one stuck outside further back.
He's racing outside of Ryan Sieg with William Sawalich looking on mid-pack in turn 2.
Challenge now is on for the number 4 position. Brandon Jones took a look down to the inside, but couldn't get the bite coming off turn number 2. Sheldon Creed will hold him off for 4.
Sheldon Creed gets a good run-up off of turn number 4, keeps Brandon Jones at arm's length. They'll stay nose to tail as the battle for 2nd begins to tighten up.
2nd place now getting a little bit busy. Rajat Caruth has fallen back into the clutches as they race nose to tail of Brent Cruz. Cruz looked inside off turn 2, couldn't find the room.
Drop back to the 10th position right now. That's where Lee Pulliam is getting a trunk full of his Junior Motorsports teammate Sammy Smith. Lee Pulliam making his first start in O'Reilly Series competition. It's got him stacked up at the back door.
First timer in the O'Reilly Series. He's just hugging the bottom as he puts the laps in.
Challenge and change for the numbers.
Junior Motorsports teammate Sammy Smith. Lee Pulliam making his first start in O'Reilly Series competition. It's got him stacked up at the back door.
First timer in the O'Reilly Series. He's just hugging the bottom as he puts the laps in.
Challenge and change for the number 4 spot. Brandon Jones drove to the inside of Sheldon Creed. Give Jones 4th, and he immediately works over Brent Cruz.
Smart move by Sheldon Creed. I think he realized that Brandon Jones either had a quicker car at this junction or was more willing to go hard at this junction. He just let him go, and now Brandon Jones is looking for 3rd place.
A couple of drivers now racing on the outside of the racetrack, one of those being Andrew Peterson. He squeezed down in line off the end of the back straightaway, and he did that in front of Dean Thompson, although Dean's letting him know about it and giving him the business going back to 1.
A little bit of a trade of sheet metal and carbon fiber and vinyl wraps, part of the process here at Martinsville. Closer to the front, challenge is on. Jesse Love is in trouble. He just got moved out of the groove by Parker Retzlaff.
And thinking 3 wide, Corey Day took a peek to the inside. It's not there. This is the ongoing fight for position number 7.
Corey Day thought about 3 wide, then thought better of it at this juncture of the race. He'll just sit back in the catbird seat and watch Retzlaff and Love go at it.
That is 3.5 seconds behind race leader Justin Allgaier, who leads at lap 12.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins, a career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful...
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless, that's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
No changes in the top 5 while we were away. Justin Allgaier continues to lead. Rajah Caruth, Brandon Jones, also Brent Cruz and Sheldon Creed run out the top 5. 16 laps are complete, 44 to go in the opening stage. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
About a place that's dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
NASCAR fans, the time is now to turn your love of racing into free tickets, merchandise, VIP experiences, and much, much more. Rack up fan rewards points by watching races at home, playing fantasy, completing challenges, and visiting tracks. Then redeem your points for epic prizes. You are in the driver's seat. What are you waiting for? Sign up for the free NASCAR Fan Rewards loyalty program today at NASCAR.com/fan-rewards.
Laps are complete here with the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at the Martinsville Speedway. The NFPA 250 underway, and Alex, we're watching a battle for second off turn 4.
And that's where Brandon Jones lights the wick and goes up underneath Rajah Caruth and takes over the number 2 spot. Davey did it with ease.
Decides it's time to go, Alex, as Justin Allgaier's gotten away by about half the length of the back straightaway. Brandon Jones has decided we need to do something about that.
Watching the race for 5th, here's Carson Quapple. He'll dial up the low lane coming out of turn number 4. He'll ease up under Sheldon Creed. Good, clean battle for that spot. And for now, Dave, Creed will keep that position.
Quapple has had 3 or 4 runs just like that one, where he gets a good bite off the inside of the corner, able to put a nose inside of Sheldon Creed. But Creed, at the exit of the turn, has the bite and pulls away.
As we've run now since the drop of the green flag, 24 consecutive green flag laps. Ryan, what types of things are you noticing out here with the field?
Well, you see some guys that are really just, it seems like, taking care of their tires, and then you see others that are getting a little less patient. So I see some beating and banging, and, Justin Allgaier is starting to catch the back of the pack. So those guys it's time to go.
He's closing in on the tail end of the field as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. Dave, Justin Allgaier soon to be a very busy man.
He is about to be very busy. He's got about a third of the back straightaway before he begins running up on the lap traffic. First to go a lap down will be the Joey Gase machine.
Gase is trying feverishly to try to get by Myatt Snyder to not be that first car on the hit list to fall a lap down as we stay under the green flag.
Leader making his way off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Further back in the pack, Jesse Love continues his early race free fall. That car just will not point and go coming off the corner, and he is struggling to hang on to every spot.
He has just lost a spot to Sammy Smith. He has fallen to 10th, and he's got Lee Pulliam there. He's got Anthony Alfredo, William Sawalich, and others. Alex, the car obviously not to his liking here in the opening 26 laps.
I don't think it's just he in that RCR Chevrolet. His teammate Austin Hill on the wrong side of the leaderboard. He's back in 23rd as a good race begins to shape up on the backstretch.
Down the back straightaway and into turns 3 and 4, Brent Cruz beginning to close in on Rajah Caruth for 3rd.
So while we have a moment, let's run you back through the leaderboard here before the lapping begins. Justin Allgaier leads, Brandon Jones 2nd, Rajah Caruth is 3rd, Brent Cruz and Sheldon Creed round out the top 5, Carson Quapple is 6th, Parker Retzloff is 7th, Corey Day is 8th, Sammy Smith 9th, and Jesse Love is 10th.
Running in 11th at the moment, that's Lee Pulliam. He's trying to get by the Jesse Love car. He'll be successful in doing that. So give Pulliam now a spot inside the top 10. Jesse Love's in jeopardy of losing another spot to Anthony Alfredo. He does so. Love falls back to 12th. Sawalich is 13th. Ryan Sieg is 14th. Sam Mayer is 15th. Taylor Gray goes 16th. Nick Sanchez 17th. Brennan Poole is 18th. Jeb Burton is 19th. And Harrison Burton is 20th.
Jeremy Clements is 21st. Dean Thompson is 22nd. Austin Hill is 23rd. Blaine Perkins is 24th. And Andrew Patterson is 25th. Patrick Starpoli is 26th. You've also got Josh Williams in 27th. Ross Chastain is 28th. Josh Malicki 29th. And Luke Baldwin's 30th.
30th is LeVar Scott. 32nd is Garrett Smithley. Brad Perez 33rd. Ryan Ellis 34th. Austin Green 35th. Kyle Sieg is 36th. Myatt Snyder, the last car on the lead lap, is 37th. Joey Gase, Mike, has just gone a lap down.
And he is running in the 38th position as Justin Allgaier comes out of turn number 4. Well, Dave, that third of a straightaway behind by race leader Justin Allgaier has evaporated. He has arrived on the doorstep at the tail end of the lead lap.
Doesn't take long when the leader has to start messing with the lapped automobiles. He'll go to the inside of the Myatt Snyder car. He's still got a healthy margin in hand over the second place machine as he makes his way off turn 4.
Further back off turn number 4, the battle for 7th is raging on. Parker Retzlaff and Corey Day getting after it. Corey Day took a peek to the inside of Retzlaff. Nothing there. They made slight contact. This time Corey Day goes wide in turn 1.
Trouble. Turn number 3 around and hard into the outside wall goes Luke Baldwin. There was contact at the entrance of the corner. Baldwin spins backward and wallops the safer barrier in turn 3.
Caution flag number 1 out at lap 33 when 2 cars tangled in front of Dave Moody in turn 3.
Well, Ryan Preece called.
Here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR, from the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, diecast, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Working the caution flag for the first time today for the incident in turn number 3. Luke Baldwin did climb out of that race car. He will take a mandatory trip to the infield care center for the checkup. Pit lane is open this time by Mike. We'll wait and see if anybody elects to come in.
Yeah, and here comes the pace car halfway down the back straightaway. Justin Allgaier angling his car to the bottom like he wants to take a dive onto pit road. Doesn't look like he will. Matter of fact, the front handful of cars or so will bypass the opening to pit road and stay out. The first driver to commit to the pit lane will be Parker Retzlaff. He'll pit from 7th. Corey Day will also pit as well. Lee Pulliam, Ryan Sieg, also Sam Mayer, Taylor Gray, and Jeb Burton. Austin Hill and others will make their pit stops at lap 36 to Chris Wilner.
Corey Day is in, said it was really tight in the rubber that's building up in 3 and 4. Couldn't get on throttle. They'll make an adjustment to his HenderCars.com Chevrolet. For Lee Pulliam, making his first pit stop here in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, said I just am struggling with a little bit of freeness in the center of the corner. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment and send him on his way. Steve Post?
Yeah, down here, Parker Retzlaff brought his car in. It's been a solid top 10 run. Left side tires going on that automobile right now. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Austin Hill's had a handful of that race car, just will not handle. He brings it in. Sam Mayer brings his car in as well. And some of these cars struggling with the handle, and I think some of these cars setting themselves up for maybe staying out at the end of this stage and getting a little track position. I think it's a little bit of both with these pit stops here on lap number 37.
Corey Day was the first off the pit lane, followed by Taylor Gray, Sam Mayer, Parker Retzlaff, then Ryan Sieg. They were the fast 5 off the pit road.
The National Fire Protection Association is driving safety forward across the country with codes and standards that protect you, your family, and your community. Visit nfpa.org to learn more, because safety doesn't happen by choice.
Hardy's caution number 1 is flying over the NFPA 250, brought out when Luke Baldwin had a problem. Brian Priest coming off the end of the back straightaway. We had discussed, after looking at NASCAR TV here at the racetrack, that he wheel hopped the car going into turn number 3. What does that mean when a wheel hop takes place here at Martinsville?
Yeah, just by the way it looked at, and you know, I don't know, but it looked like it under braking when the tires are wearing and the grip of the tire goes away, the back can get really free, and when you're heavy on the brakes where he's on the inside of somebody, it could have potentially wheel hopped, or I mean, something looked like, for it to whip around like that, who knows, but he was along for the ride.
Even though this is the smallest track we race on in NASCAR, you find out just how fast you actually are going here when you get turned sideways.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, we look at it as a half-mile racetrack. It's a short track. It's one of the smallest ones we go to, but it's fast. And it really puts it in perspective how fast it is when you see a car go around like that and then hit the fence.
LeVar Scott also was involved in that 2-car incident to bring out the first caution flag. That came out at lap 33. When the field comes back to the line, probably another lap or 2 under the caution flag. Safety crews taking a lap around the racetrack to make sure everything is buttoned up and the track is race ready, and we will go at least 2 more laps under the caution flag.
So a couple of speeding penalties have been issued out here for those couple of drivers that elected to come to the pit lane. Ryan Sieg got busted for speeding down there. Parker Retzlaff also got busted for speeding on the pit lane. So Retzlaff had a good top 10 going here in these opening 30 laps or so before he elected to come in. Austin Hill also got busted for speeding as well. So 3 speeding penalties by 3 veteran drivers.
Austin Hill off to a sluggish start here today at the Martinsville Speedway, who have to go all the way to the back of the pack when the green flag comes back out.
Man, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty hard to pass here, so getting those positions back are going to be really tough. And, you know, I can speak from experience. When we went from the lead all the way to last, it's not going to be an easy road for them.
That's got to be a sinking feeling.
It's a terrible feeling. I know it firsthand. So ever since then, it's like that, you know, hey, I sped this one time, I will never do it again.
Now, how does one go about picking your way through because with the way the restarts here, I mean, you're basically restarting almost a half lap down.
Oh, yeah, and then those guys that are in the lead are in clean air, and you can't go any faster than the guy in front of you. So their race will not start for until about 8 to 10 laps after the green flag drops, because that's really when everybody starts, you know, spreading out and you have opportunities to pass. But man, that is hopefully they made some really good adjustments. They can drive forward and potentially stay out and get some of that track position back at the end of the stage.
The field will come up off turn number 4, and the wheel and engineering lights will go out on that blue and white Ford Mustang pace car. Drivers have the opportunity to choose this time by what lane to restart in. Justin Allgaier started the race on the outside lane, but that's because he had a teammate to his inside. This time Allgaier will opt to restart on the inside of the front front row.
Brandon Jones will restart on the outside. Rajah Caruth will restart on the inside of row 2. Brent Cruz has chosen to restart to his right, the outside of row 2. Row 3, Sheldon Creed to the inside of Carson Quapple. Row 4, Sammy Smith to the inside of Anthony Alfredo. Row 5, Jesse Love will restart to the inside of William Sawalich. When they come back to the line, that will complete lap 43 and begin lap 44. Alex, we've got just about, 17 laps to go here in the opening stage.
Yeah, we do, and we saw a lot of rubber being put down on the racetrack as we're half a lap away from green, Ryan. It looked like a lot of that's been picked up under the caution.
That's the challenging part, man. When the cautions come out and we ride around, it just picks all that rubber up. So it's going to take 30, 40 laps for it to start laying down, but once we get deep into that run, you're going to see some cars sliding around.
Pace cars on pit road. Here comes the field through the restart zone. Green flag back up, and what a restart for Justin Allgaier. Up to the gearbox. He'll scamper away all by himself to 1.
No challenge as they enter turn number 1. He will drive away with the lead. The battle will be for the second spot. Brandon Jones rim riding in that outside lane. He gets the jump off turn number 2. He'll slide down across the nose of Rajah Caruth.
Everybody jumbles up from third on back. They bounce off of each other just about through the entire field. Further back, got a car stuck 3 wide on the outside lane. That's not where you want to be as the race for third continues.
First man stuck out high this time around on the restart is Brent Cruz. He's back to the number 4 position, slides his way back in line. Now Sheldon Creed will go to the outside of Cruz.
Traffic stacked up now from 4th on back, side by side. Cruz and Creed behind them, wheel to wheel. A couple of Junior Motorsports teammate in Quapple and Smith.
Everybody looking for a little bit of open racetrack, preferably on the bottom of the corners. Cruz by half a car length has the 4 spot. Sheldon Creed, though, not giving up without a fight.
No, he's going to stay in that second lane, but he's going to give up 4th at the moment and quickly try to get in line. He does so right in front of Sammy Smith as everybody dives for the bottom of turn 1.
Shoehorns his way down to that inside lane, does Sheldon Creed. That will enable him to hang on to the number 5 position. Behind him, the battle continues. Hot and heavy. A couple of Junior Motorsports teammates on the outside. It is Sammy Smith, in concert Quapple.
And also a restless Anthony Alfredo that's starting to spice things up a bit.
Fast Pasta not going quite as fast as he wants, but he is going to grab that bottom lane and try and make his way to the inside. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Alfredo to the inside of Quapple.
Quapple stuck on that outside lane. Clean racing up off of turn 4. Alfredo in the Dude Wipes entry. Still side by side with Quapple.
Alfredo driving for the Don Sackett-owned Viking Motorsports team. They expanded to 2 cars this season, off to a tremendous start with Alfredo and Parker Retzlaff.
Now let's drop all the way to the tail end of the field and pick up the battle for 30th. Ryan Priest told us a moment ago how testy things can be when you have to pick your way through the field. That's exactly what Austin Hill is doing. He has bypassed about a half dozen cars, Dave, but he's got a lot more stacked up in front of him.
And he's got Parker Retzlaff on his back bumper saying, go ahead, big boy, I'll just follow you through those holes. They're doing what they need to do. They're picking up spots, but they're doing it without taking a lot of chances and making enemies.
And you're also on a set of tires that you would like to try to make last just a little bit longer, Ryan.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting tires to pay off a little more than they did, but it looks like the 54, the 9, and a few of these other guys. The initial launch of the start, it looked like they had a bunch of grip, and right now, I don't know if they're just trying to take it easy to get to the end of the stage or what, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot of separation.
Of course, the 54 of Taylor Gray, the 9 of Lee Pulliam, working their way through the field. Trackside to Chris.
Yeah, and you guys were just talking about those that pitted. Well, Taylor Gray in that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota took scuff tires. They actually had a set from practice, actually had a little bit of contact into the wall a lap or 2 ago, but Jason Radcliffe's mindset said, hey, these may come in quicker than sticker tires. Let's use these set of scuffs from practice, pick off a few, and then maintain and try to save our tires because we know we're going to stay out at the end of stage number 1. So different strategy for Jason Radcliffe and Taylor Gray, but on scuffed tires from practice. So interesting strategy call there.
7 laps to go here in the opening stage. Things begin to tighten up at the front of the field. Also for position number 3.
Down the back straightaway, third place up for grabs. Brent Cruz continues to charge. He is reeled in the back bumper of Rajah Caruth.
They race their way to the main straightaway again. That's the race for third. You've got fourth, Brent Cruz, fifth, Sheldon Creed. Traffic stacks up behind them. Sammy Smith and company there.
Sammy Smith will stay tucked in line this time off turn 2 to the back straightaway. We've talked about drivers that are kind of taking their time. On the list of taking their time, the name Brandon Jones does not appear. He's trying to reel in the leader.
No, I think he's got a spot inside the top 10 for championship points at the end of the stage, which is just 5 circuits from now, Dave. And I don't think he's got the speed to run down Allgaier at the moment.
I think Justin Allgaier, Alex, is doing exactly what he needs to do. Holding on to about a 2 or 3 car length advantage. Not enough for Brandon Jones to get close.
And keeping him at arm's length. 4 to go in stage number 2. Bumper cars further back. Dean Thompson roughing up a couple now. One goes around. Garrett Smithley goes for a spin in turn number 4.
Well, he got the bare knuckles going into turn number 3. Held on to it momentarily. Spun the car around down onto that Yellowwood curbing. He refires the car and pulls away.
And that'll put us under the caution flag for the second time in today's race with just 3 laps to go here in the stage. Effectively should end the stage here, but we'll wait and see how this plays out. Either way, under caution now for the second time.
Today, the action heats up at Martinsville Speedway, and so does the Drive for Safety. The National Fire Protection Association, proud sponsor of the NFPA 250, is on a mission to keep you and your family safe. For 130 years, NFPA has helped create codes and standards that protect our homes, businesses, schools, and communities. Remember, safety doesn't happen by chance. Visit don'tchancesafety.org to learn more.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by SDP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Pits will not open because 2 laps before the end of any stage, pits automatically close. We're already 2 laps away from the end of stage number 1. Justin Allgaier is the race leader. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back here at Martinsville Speedway under the caution flag for the second time, and at the line, the green and white checkered flag waving as well. Stage number 1 comes to an end. Justin Allgaier keeps the streak going. He has now scored stage points in every stage this year. He wins stage 1 of today's race. Brandon Jones will be second, Rajah Caruth third, Brent Cruz fourth, Sheldon Creed fifth, Sammy Smith was sixth, Anthony Alfredo seventh, Carson Quapo eighth, Jesse Love ninth, and William Sawalich 10th.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is racing today at the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Motor Racing Network here with live flag-to-flag coverage of the NFPA 250. Mike Bagley alongside Alex Hayden and Roush Fenway Keselowski NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Preece. We are topside overlooking the start-finish line here at Martinsville. Steve Post and Chris Wilner in the pits and the garage. Dave Moody is in the turns as we have just completed the first stage of the NFPA 250. Justin Allgaier has led all of the 61 laps that we have completed so far.
Second time today, the caution is out, presented by Hardee's. Buckle up, NASCAR fans. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards. And Hardee's will start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards lap after lap and order your Hardee's ahead.
So we are working that, what would be the third caution flag of the second caution flag of the afternoon. The Garrett Smithley spin in turn number 4 leads us to the conclusion of stage 1. Pit road will be open in a moment. We had a handful of drivers that took the opportunity to pit back at lap 35 or so, and we'll see who decides to come to pit road and pit versus stay out onto the racetrack as the caution is flying for the second time. Pit road will not be open this time through. We'll go at least one more lap before we open the pit lane.
So some of the teams came to pit lane back on lap number 37 in our first Hardee's caution. It looked like Corey Day was the highest to advance. He only got up to the 14th spot before this latest caution and the end of the stage. So, Ryan, do you anticipate those drivers that stayed, those drivers that came to pit road to stay out this time?
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything that was told from that, it's that track position is certainly worth a lot. And it didn't look like the 7, 20, 88, and 19 who have 63 laps on their tires were going to be falling back to them. So, yeah, certainly if I'm them, I'm taking track position and trying to keep it from there.
Corey Day came in for service at lap 37. Sam Mayer, also Jed Burton, Lee Pulliam, Taylor Gray, Andrew Patterson, Patrick Starpoli, Blaine Perkins, Austin Hill, Parker Retzloff, and others. And right now, pit road still not open. Should go at least one more lap before we open up the pit lane.
Got to give a call to Ross Chastain. Started today's race dead last. And here at the end of stage number 1, he's worked his way up to the number 11 position. Again, a lot of drivers did come to pit lane back on lap 37. But Dave Moody, wandering through the garage earlier today, they were making a lot of adjustments to that race car.
Boy, they sure were, Alex. They had it up on jack stands, and they were working on it all morning long. I don't know whether it was a suspension issue or a height issue, something. Finally, they got it all put back together, put the car cover on it for about an hour, and then they had to break it out again because it was race time.
Right now, pit road is finally open, and the leaders up front, those that did not pit back at lap 37, will take this opportunity to come to pit road. Corey Day and company will stay out. These stops that are taking place right now are doing so at lap 65.
Sammy Smith is in from the 6th position in stage 1. So the biggest struggle was I'm very free laterally on landing. They're going to make a small adjustment for Goodyear Tires, Sunoco Fuel. Sheldon Creed was in the top 5. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment just like practice and put a little bit of tape on it. Raja Caruth, air pressure adjustment for Tires and Sunoco Fuel. Steve Post.
4 tires Sunoco Fuel for Justin Allgaier. Just needs overall grip to last a little bit longer. Minor adjustment there. Brandon Jones is in. Car gets a little free, especially when the track got rubbered up. They're going to work on tightening that car up just a little bit. Brandon Jones is gone and away. He's the first car off from pit road. Carson Quappel is in. He just needs the car to turn better. It's a little snug coming off the corner. And Brent Cruz was in as well. He also very, very snug, a little tight on the exits of the corner. Chassis adjustment there for that automobile. These pit stops into stage number 1, lap number 65.
Those who came to pit road on lap 37 stayed out. That means Corey Day is the new race leader.
What makes Toyota Racing Toyota Racing? It's not just how we drive, it's why we drive. Bubba Wallace drives with resilience, building himself back up with a Toyota team that never lets him stay down. Jade Evadisian drives with determination to be faster, sharper, every lap, every day. Christopher Bell drives with inspiration, because when talent meets the perfect team, you don't just win, you inspire what comes next. Toyota Racing, your race, your story. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Corey Day, Sam Mayer, Jeb Burton, Lee Pulliam, and Taylor Gray are the top 5. 53 laps still to go here. And now stage number 2 as we continue to work under the caution flag. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com. We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires to Sonoma Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
One to go being given down here at the start-finish line, this time by wrapping up our second caution, and it's presented by Hardee's. Buckle up, NASCAR fans. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards, and Hardee's will start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards lap after lap and order your Hardee's ahead.
11 drivers stayed on the racetrack. Corey Day is the new leader, the second leader of the afternoon. Sam Mayer second, Jeb Burton third, Lee Pulliam fourth, Taylor Gray is fifth, Andrew Patterson is sixth, Patrick Starpoli is seventh, Austin Hill 8th, Parker Retzloff 9th, Ryan Sieg 10th, Garrett Smithley, the final driver of those 11 that stayed out on the racetrack.
And Brandon Jones will be the first one on the fresher Goodyear Racing Eagle tires. We'll find out right now if, in fact, new tires are worth much. We know, based off of what we saw a moment ago, Mike, not necessarily. Nobody was able to really drive from the back towards the front.
28-lap old tires with the top 11 that will lead us back to the green. They've waved off the restart. We'll go one more lap under this Hardee's caution. Talk about Brandon Jones. Justin Allgaier had a double clutch there on the pit lane. That cost him a spot. He will restart behind Brandon Jones, but on the choose, Brandon, of those drivers that pitted to come back out, Brandon has chosen to restart on the inside. Sheldon Creed will start up right alongside him, but Justin Allgaier, Rajah Caruth, and also William Sawalich restarting right behind Brandon Jones, behind those 11 cars that stayed out.
Brad Perez was the beneficiary of the free pass, gets his lap back, and he'll be the last car on the lead lap now. Perez being scored back in the 35th position, but they've got to get that squared away. But Perez was being given the free pass here.
Interesting story for Brad, driving for Young's Motorsports this weekend. Bubba Wallace ponied up $15,000 to get him into Martinsville. Brad told that story on NASCAR Live Wide Open with us earlier this week. You can check it out wherever you download your podcast.
Sam Mayer, the control car, comes to the Poet restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air, and we're racing again at Martinsville as the two at the front of the field. Corey Day, Sam Mayer lean on each other.
They do a lot of leaning through turns 1 and 2. Getting away on the inside line, Corey Day. He's away with the lead. Mayer will tuck it back in line. Now coming up the outside, Lee Pulliam's got ideas. Mayer gets bumped. He drives up into Pulliam. They're 3 wide off 2.
Gray gets into Jeb Burton, drives him up the racetrack. Austin Hill trying to jam it into the inside of Patrick Starpoli.
Lee Pulliam able to save it, pulls it back down into the low line, hangs on to that number 3 position. It appears that everybody has called a truce to the hostilities here as they work their way through 3 and 4.
Front 6 get away, and they get nose to tail. From 7th on back, they continue to stack up. Parker Retzloff, after a pit road speeding penalty, he'll lean on Dr. Patrick Starpoli at turn 1.
Retzloff down on the inside lane. lane has come from the tail end of the field. He's busted his way back into the top 10. As a matter of fact, he just grabbed the number 7 position.
And behind them, you start seeing Brandon Jones and Justin Allgaier start making some progress. They right now, Dave, are tiptoeing through a Martinsville minefield.
Just outside the top 10, hugging the bottom of the racetrack as they look ahead and see a couple of more cars that are still stranded up in that outside lane. Patrick Staropoli, Dr. Pat's got some trouble. They are all shoehorning their way to the inside.
Yeah, and he's going to have to just take his medicine there on that outside lane. Garrett Smithley's to his left elbow, and then the brigade of drivers on the fresh tires and led by Brandon Jones.
Front of the pack, Sam Mayer's begun to turn up the heat now on Corey Day. They have broken away from Lee Pulliam by about 3 car lengths. Day trying to hold off the advances.
Battle for the lead, lap 76. Corey Day, Sam Mayer, they broke it away by 3 car lengths over Lee Pulliam.
Pulliam sitting about 3 car lengths further back, just watching the 2 youngsters go at it here down the back straightaway. Headed for 3, single file at the front of the field.
Battle for the number 5 spot, getting a little physical here, Ryan Preece. Austin Hill getting impatient with Jeb Burton.
Yeah, and honestly, Jeb is fiery, man. I don't know if I'd do that, so it'll be interesting if he feels like he's going to get wronged here.
Further back, the race on new tires is won by Justin Allgaier, who makes an outside pass on Brandon Jones, Dave, and he's wanting more.
Stepping lively now to the outside of Patrick Staropoli. He'll move around him to the outside as they exit turn 4.
And so give Justin Allgaier position number 10 as they continue to race hard at the front of the field. Dave, pick a battle out there.
Yeah, they're all over the place right now. The battle for the lead continues. Sam Mayer keeping the pressure on Corey Day, and that's going to increase now because Lee Pulliam is closing in.
Yeah, that had been a 2-man battle for the lead. It is now joined by Lee Pulliam in a 3-car breakaway at the point.
Lee Pulliam has got about 1 million laps here at Martinsville Speedway, many of them while leading races. Doesn't feel the need to lead right now, but he's right there in the hunt.
Big tire rub further back for Jeremy Clements. I believe it's the right front corner of his car. He's smoking even on the straightaways around this racetrack. Further up, here's Justin Allgaier climbing the leaderboard again to the inside of Garrett Smithley in turn 2.
The little Gator is on the march. He jumps to the inside. He'll pick up that spot. That is position number 9 now. Justin Allgaier from the tail end of the field making progress.
Having just bypassed Garrett Smithley, further back, Patrick Staropoli gets punted off the inside line. Sammy Smith using his front bumper to move him up the racetrack. They race side by side, and they're wheel to wheel. 2 more rows deep behind them.
There's a lot of that punting going on right now, no question about it. Jeremy Clements, as you mentioned, trailing smoke. He got into the back of somebody and just puckered up the entire front end of that machine.
You know, moments when I see that happening, I watched 2 guys drive around the outside of the 48, and then the third one just didn't even want to try to. He just decided he was going to move him right out of the way.
And indeed, that's what's happened with more lined up at the back door. William Sawalez trying to do the same. Also, Anthony Alfredo, Jesse Love, and Carson Quapple were describing the stacking up of traffic from 15th on back, while Corey Day leads by a full second over Sam Mayer at lap 83.
Buckle up, NASCAR fans. The Hardee's app is the fastest way to free food. Download the app and join My Rewards, and we'll start you off with a free sandwich. Then stack up the rewards lap after lap. Every dollar spent earns you stars that turn into more free food. Plus, score app-exclusive deals, order ahead, and start your engine. Get the Hardee's app today.
Minimum purchase required. Menu items vary. See app for full offer terms.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
Good race for the second position between late model superstar Lee Pulliam and Sam Mayer. That battle now is happening almost 2 seconds behind race leader Corey Day. So at lap 87, it's Day, Mayer, Pulliam, with Taylor Gray and Austin Hill rounding out the top 5 from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins the Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, Hardy's caution number 3, flying over the NFPA 250. Reports are there's debris, Dave, and potential fluid. I wonder where that fluid's coming from.
I'm going to put all the money I got on Jeremy Clements right now. A lot of that smoke continues to come out from under that race car. Some of it is because of a pretty substantial tire rub on both front tires, but maybe a little power steering issue going on there as well.
So that puts us under the caution flag here at the Martinsville Speedway. Jeremy Clements is still on the racetrack, and he's got a lot of dent and dings on that Chevy Camaro, front, side, and smoke billowing from that machine. Pit road is open. The leaders have bypassed that opening to the pit lane. Nobody in the front 5, 10, 15, 20 positions or so. So it looks like that minimal pit activity will be taking place here at lap 89.
So we continue under the caution flag for the 3rd time in today's race. We want to welcome Andy Jinks, Chief Operating Officer, National Fire Protection Association, to the broadcast. How are you today?
Doing great, thank you.
Absolutely. We welcome you here and putting on a great race here for all the race fans that are in attendance. For folks that don't know, what is the NFPA?
Yeah, so National Fire Protection Association, and we develop standards to help keep people safe.
Why is a fire safety organization involved in NASCAR?
Yeah, NASCAR is a great example of something we say often, which is safety doesn't happen by chance. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make race day safe for the fans, for the teams, for the officials, and that includes referencing our standards.
How do folks remain safe, and how can they remain safe given the fact that so many people just don't really think about that?
Yeah, it is often taken for granted, and part of that is because it works, right? The standards work, and so a lot of people don't have to pay attention to it. But we're trying to promote that and make people aware of these standards. And in their own home, checking their smoke alarms, critical. Make sure they have batteries, make sure you have working smoke alarms, really important.
Why is NASCAR such a valuable platform for checking that box?
Yeah, today's special for us. We've been working with Joey Gase Racing for about 3 years now, sponsoring races here and there. So being the title sponsor just gives us that bigger audience that NASCAR has. We were able to invite about 300 first responders today to enjoy the race, so it just gives us a bigger platform.
What's one fire safety step that everyone in attendance watching and listening right now on the broadcast, what should they take right now?
Yeah, there's obviously several, but really the easiest one and the most important is those smoke alarms. To go home and make sure that it's working, that you have one. If you don't, go get one. Get a neighbor or a friend to help you. They're really important.
Now, I understand, on a different note, you've done some racing in your own right. What kind of racing have you done?
Back in the day, I did a lot of road track, vintage racing, things like that.
All right, I'm okay with that. So you know what you're talking about when you come out to the racetrack, and everybody pays close attention to you. Listen, thank you to you and your entire team for putting on a great race, and more importantly, making sure we all stay safe.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
That's Andy Jinks, Chief Operating Officer, National Fire Protection Association.
Working caution flag number 3 of the NFPA 200. Dave, we talk about the cautions out for debris and the fluid coming from Jeremy Clements' car. We are about to take care of this whole racetrack with a battery of safety trucks headed to you in turn 3.
The Gobi Desert has just broken out on the back straightaway, Mike. Fluid laid down really from the exit of turn 2, and they're still putting down the speedy dry midway between turn 3. They may go all the way around on this thing, so it's going to be a minute as they're laying down a lot of kitty litter on the back stretch and into 3 and 4.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to be done on the racetrack. The application of the speedy dry has just begun. It started coming out of turn number 2. They're right now coming through turns 3 and 4 with that application needed on the front stretch. Basically, this fluid is all the way around the racetrack, and as they apply that fluid, there's a vacuum truck that is also picking up the remnants, and it's going to be a couple of more laps before we go back out under the green flag. But obviously quite the fluid drop by Jeremy Clements a few moments ago.
And this is something too, it's eating up a lot of laps here at stage number 2. We're down to 26 laps to go here in this second stage of the race, and effectively is going to put a lot of these teams essentially on the same strategy.
Absolutely, and to be honest with you, if I'm some of them, I'm wishing I pitted, because when we have a caution and, however many laps, 26 laps to go, they're going to come down pit road because they're going to top off on fuel. They're going to get 4 tires. Man, I think this could have potentially been a missed opportunity.
Well, we continue under the Hardy's caution behind the safety car. The Speedy Dry truck has just completed its application just past the start-finish line, but we still got more cleanup to go. Ryan Priest, winner of the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium from back in January/February, joining us here in the tower, getting ready for tomorrow's Cookout 400 for the NASCAR Cup Series. I want to talk to you about 2026. It seems like that Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing as a whole has taken steps forward. You and Derek Finley, that new race team that started last year, you guys as well have taken steps forward. Where is the organization in 26 as far as you're concerned?
Well, to be honest with you, I think we're pretty strong right now. Last week showed that. So for us, it's just trying to put together everything and keep on some strong runs. And I feel like, the race car they brought for me specifically this weekend, I feel really good about it. It was as close to what I would want here at Martinsville. And, we'll try to dial a little bit of that speed back. That way we have the long run a little more. But there's some things that I can do as a driver to take care of that as well. But certainly very excited about the race tomorrow.
We all know in this sport, and every fan knows as well, the relationship between driver and crew chief is paramount. You're from Berlin, Connecticut, a Northeasterner. Derek Finley is a big guy. He's got that long southern drawl. Couldn't be any more opposite than what you are. How has it meshed so well?
That's a great question. I don't know. Just, the first time we met and we went to lunch, it was like, I've told everybody, it's really difficult to truly know if you're going to get along with somebody or not just by going to lunch with them or spending some time. You have to get in the thick of the battle and really feel each other out. And what I've learned is him and I, as much as we're different, we're very similar. And, I appreciate that he takes my input, whether he uses it or not. He approaches it the right way. And, I've really enjoyed my time here at RFK and working with Derek and Brad and Chris and everybody there, and feel like we're heading in a great direction to be part of the rise of what RFK is soon to be.
And it's fun to watch that development last year and so far in the 6 races that we've run in 2026. We continue under Hardy's caution number 3.
Today, the action heats up at Martinsville Speedway, and so does the Drive for Safety. The National Fire Protection Association, proud sponsor of the NFPA 250, is on a mission to keep you and your family safe. For 130 years, NFPA has helped create codes and standards that protect our homes, businesses, schools, and communities. Remember, safety doesn't happen by chance. Visit don'tchancesafety.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
Corey Day continues to lead. Sam Mayer, Lee Pulliam, Taylor Gray, Austin Hill are the top 5. Jeb Burton, Parker Retzloff, Ryan Sieg, Justin Allgaier, Garrett Smithley rounding out the top 10 from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts. 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
One to go has been given to the field as we are stacked up for the restart on the back straightaway. The green flag will come out at lap 100. Alex, that will leave us a 20-lap scramble to the conclusion of stage 2.
Corey Day is the race leader. He chose the inside lane for this upcoming restart once they get to the Poet restart zone, and he'll have Sam Mayer stacked up to his right elbow. Got Lee Pulliam to the inside of Austin Hill in row number 2. Row number 3, we'll see Taylor Gray and Jeff Burton. Row number 4, you've got Parker Retzlaff and Justin Allgaier.
Here they come off the corner. Pace car is on the pit lane. To the restart, they will inch their way in towards Corey Day, going late, stacking up the field, but he gets away. Green flag back out. Day out in front all by himself in 1.
Corey Day waited until deep in the Poet restart zone, but it worked well for him. He is away clean with the lead. The battle now is for second. Mayer on the outside. Here comes Lee Pulliam to fill the hole.
Pulliam opens up the inside lane, does a nice old-fashioned hockey hip check to Sam Mayer, moves him up the racetrack, and the fans come to their feet cheering on Pulliam.
Leader had a rough time in turn 4 as well. Corey Day got into some of the speedy dry remnants and went up the racetrack. Pulliam had thoughts of going underneath and couldn't quite pull it off. The battle for second continues.
Sam Mayer trying to do it the hard way. He'll power around the outside of Lee Pulliam. He'll grab second, and he's also going to take a look for the lead for a moment in 1.
Look down to the inside. He punches the hole, slides underneath Corey Day on the march, and to the lead now Sam Mayer as they make their way down the backstretch.
Further back, the battle for third is on. Austin Hill to the outside of Lee Pulliam. Pulliam runs him up the track. Hill is undaunted. He'll take over the number 3 spot. Pulliam yanks the steering wheel back to driver's left to block the advance of Taylor Gray.
Big Country does it the hard way around the outside. Austin Hill up to the number 3 position. Lee Pulliam's not out of trouble yet. Down to the inside, here's Taylor Gray.
A lot of rooting and gouging, pushing and shoving. 16 laps to go in stage 2. Battle is on for 4th. Taylor Gray inside, Lee Pulliam to the outside.
Pulliam now in no man's land in that outside lane. He's got a lot of cars behind him, including the Justin Allgaier automobile. Everybody looking for room downstairs. Pulliam will hold off Gray into 3.
Pulliam right now looks like, Ryan, his tire's beginning to fade just a bit.
Well, I think, honestly, I don't know if it was... oh, we got a caution.
Hardy's caution flag number 4 flying over the NFPA 250. Reports are that we have debris on the racetrack, and that will put us under the caution flag yet again, and that will set us up now for what will be a sprint to the end of this stage. Right now, 15 to go, 14 to go when they get to the line.
Yeah, there's a chunk of metal to the inside lane, right in the racing groove in turn number 3, and that's the reason for this caution flag to put it there. Brandon Jones got roughed up going into turn number 1 a couple of laps ago, and he has damaged a fender on the right rear quarter of his race car.
Inspiring story.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 50 years of MRN. The 1993 season. The Road to Royalty. And more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Pit lane is open as we work the Hardy's caution. Steve Post.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier brings his car in. They're going to flip this stage around a little bit. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel, pretty good. Brent Cruz is in as well. He's going to get 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The driver with damage, though, Brandon Jones, had damage on the right rear. Sam McCauley bringing his car in and going to have some work on the right rear of that car. Carson Quappel also in here on this pit sequence. Chris Wilner.
This is at lap 107. One of the race leaders at the last restart, Corey Day, came in. Kind of a surprise there, but wanted to be snugged up just a little bit. They took 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Also in was Sammy Smith, was starting to be a little more less patient, I guess, on that last run. Moved one of his one of the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates out of the way. Said, I need to get going. I need to be fired off a little bit better. They made an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. And also in was Lee Pulliam, was on the radio saying, man, this is fun, but I've got a handful. We're in the window. I just need to be a little bit snugged up. So they made an air pressure adjustment, did put the chassis wrench in the rear window, 4 tires and fuel for Lee Pulliam.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Hi, folks. Kyle Petty here. I want to tell you about a place that's dear to my heart, Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, wrapping up Hardy's caution number 4, getting to the end of stage 2. Cars just came down the pit lane for service. Lee Pulliam brought his Chevrolet back onto the racetrack in the 13th position. However, they had an uncontrolled tire. He will have to fall to the tail end of the field for the restart. Very disappointing set of circumstances for Lee Pulliam. Matter of fact, he is falling to the tail end of the field right now, and he had driven all the way up into what was a race for the 2nd position. But Alex, he's going to be behind the 8 ball, going to have a lot of cars to pass.
Yeah, we're getting ready to find out what kind of patience Lee Pulliam has as a race car driver here at Martinsville Speedway. Josh Balicki's car needed some assistance to be pushed back behind the wall, and he's in the garage area. So all cars still on the racetrack are all on the lead lap as we run. At the moment, only 2 cars being scored out of the race. Jeremy Clements in 37th and Luke Baldwin in 38th.
Field is getting a 1-to-go signal right now. We'll go back under the green flag. The green will fly with 8 to go in the stage. Ryan, how frustrating is it that when you're doing your job behind the wheel, you have something, not throwing your pit guys under the bus or anything like that, but when something happens out of your control that puts you behind the 8 ball, like what just happened to Lee Pulliam, how difficult is it to manage the frustrations that go along with falling to the tail end of the field like this?
Yeah, that's really tough, especially because it's out of your control, but at the same time, there might be a point in this race or at one race where it might be your fault that something happened. So you definitely have to manage it. But yeah, I hate it for Lee Pulliam right now because if there's a guy that I was rooting for in this race, he was that guy because I was him and I and Josh Berry and quite a few other of us that have to work really, really hard for every opportunity we get. You want to see them succeed and thrive. And to be honest with you, he's been impressive today. He's been running much in the top 5 and having a great day.
10 cars stayed on the racetrack and did not come to pit lane. Some older Goodyear tires at the front of the field as they hit the Poet restart zone, and the green flag goes back in the air. We're racing again at the Martinsville Speedway. Sam Mayer to the inside of Austin Hill at the front of the field.
Side by side into turns 1 and 2. Off to the back straightaway. Still nobody with the advantage. Austin Hill now tiptoes to the outside lane. He's got it by a half a car length in 3.
Wheel to wheel they will race coming out of turn number 4. Hill with the fender out in front. Mayer just trying to stay with him stride for stride. Hill with the flexing of muscle. 7 to go here in the stage.
Austin Hill has made some progress this afternoon in that outside lane, which is difficult to deal with at best. He's trying awfully hard up there, but he cannot quite clear Sam Mayer.
No, Sam Mayer keeps that inside door shoved wide open. Matter of fact, Sam Mayer gets to the line dead even with Austin Hill at the front of the field. Front 2 rows still side by side.
Wheel to wheel off turn 2 again to the back straightaway. This time it's Sam Mayer by about a half a car length, but Austin Hill hanging right with him on the outside. Behind them, Taylor Gray to the inside of Ryan Sieg.
Still yet to settle the battle for the lead until right now. Coming out of turn number 4, Sam Mayer will get around Austin Hill. He will lead lap 115, although Hill gives him some bumper music in 2.
Little rat-a-tat-tat on the back bumper delivered by Hill. Not enough to move Mayer up the banking. They'll continue in single file. Battle for third. Gray to the inside of Sieg.
And that gets physical up off of turn number 4. They make slight contact there. William Sawalich and his orange and white Toyota just sitting there waiting to see what lane will advance.
Anthony Alfredo rides in the number 6 position right on Sawalich's back bumper. Still nose to nose, wheel to wheel for the number 3 spot. Gray down low, Sieg up high.
With William Sawalich and Anthony Alfredo looking on. They come to the line, 3 to go in stage 2. Still watching the battle for third.
Side by side they go on the inside lane. It is Taylor Gray. He's got the advantage. Nearly has it cleared and does now down the back straightaway. Move him to third. Sieg into 4th. He gets the big bump from behind from Sawalich.
That's going to cause a log jam behind him. A lot of cars getting moved out of the way. Ryan Ellis, the big loser there. 2 laps to go in stage number 2.
The accordion contact went back through the field. Nobody able to get turned around. Here's a challenge now for the lead. Diving down to the inside. Here comes Big Country. Austin Hill to the low line on Mayer.
With the precision of a surgeon, Hill just moved Mayer up from the bottom of turn 2 up the racetrack. Side by side for the lead and the win of stage 2 off turn 2.
Austin Hill on the inside. Sam Mayer trying to hang with him in the outside lane. Down the backstretch into 3. It's Hill by a bumper.
Here they come. Stage number 2. Green and white checkered flag is flying at the start-finish line by half a car length. Stage number 2 belongs to Austin Hill after a pit road speeding penalty earlier in the race on lap number 37. Some strategy being employed, and Austin Hill will win stage number 2. Top 10 finishers will earn championship points. Sam Mayer will be 2nd. Taylor Gray goes 3rd. Ryan Sieg 4th. William Sawalich was 5th. Anthony Alfredo goes 6th. Rajah Caruth 7th, Harrison Burton 8th, Corey Day 9th, and Justin Allgaier rounds out the top 10.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored, real-time audio from drivers and crews, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality, fast, lightweight, and zero latency. The RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
Working our caution for the 5th time in today's race. Austin Hill, the race leader, waiting to see if they're going to open up pit lane this time by. At the moment, the red flashing wheel and engineering lights to drivers left will stay illuminated, and pit road will stay closed at least for one more lap. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless, that's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
Pit lane's yet to open up as we work the caution flag here for the 5th time in today's race. Austin Hill is the race leader. Sam Mayer is 2nd. Taylor Gray goes 3rd. Ryan Sieg is 4th. 5th currently is William Sawalich. Then it's Anthony Alfredo, Rajah Caruth, Harrison Burton, Corey Day, and Justin Allgaier. Pit lane will open up this time by pit road here at Martinsville Speedway, as at the end of the backstretch, right at the entrance to turn number 3, and looks like all the front runners are going to huddle up down at the bottom of the back straightaway. They are on their way to the pit lane, and we will send it down to our first reporter, and that's Chris Wilner.
And pit stops here coming on lap number 124 as some of those a little bit off strategy begin to make their pit stops. One of those is going to be Taylor Gray. Said, I really don't want to lose any of my exit drive, but I need the right front to turn better. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, chassis wrench in the rear window, 4 tires and Sunoco fuel for the Joe Gibbs Racing driver. Also in on my end of pit road, Rajah Caruth is planning on coming down. At least that was the call originally. Can't see around the bend, but nonetheless a solid pit stop for Taylor Gray, who's already down and away. Steve?
Austin Hill is in, going to be 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. They made good adjustments on that. Here is Sam Mayer, the car a little bit tight. It's a chassis adjustment on the Chevrolet. Left side tires off, left side tires on. Sunoco Fuel is plugged in, and Sam Mayer is down away. These pit stops, lap 125, the end of stage number 2.
Taylor Gray is the first off the pit lane, followed by William Sawalich. Sam Mayer will come out 3rd, Austin Hill 4th, and Ryan Sieg will exit the pit lane in 5th.
Today, the action heats up at Martinsville Speedway, and so does the Drive for Safety. The National Fire Protection Association, proud sponsor of the NFPA 250, is on a mission to keep you and your family safe. For 130 years, NFPA has helped create codes and standards that protect our homes, businesses, schools, and communities. Remember, safety doesn't happen by chance. Visit don'tchancesafety.org to learn more.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Racing.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Alan Kowicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, getting ready to wrap up. Hardy's caution flag number 5 comes out for the end of stage 2. That'll leave us with about 120 laps to go when we button this Hardy's caution up. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver.
and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, getting ready to get the one-to-go signal. We had drivers pitting, not pitting. A couple of drivers that stayed out include Rajah Caruth and Harrison Burton. They will restart 1 and 2. You got Corey Day and others that pitted at lap 107. And then you got a handful of drivers that pitted from there on back, including Taylor Gray, who will restart in the 26th position. So, Alex, when we come back to the line, 119 laps left in stage number 3, the final stage of today's NFPA 250.
We'll find out which strategy will be the one that sends somebody to victory lane and claims a grandfather clock as the drivers are choosing what lane to restart in. Ryan Priest, is there typically a preferred lane to restart at Martinsville?
Yeah, the bottom. But, yeah, I mean, it just really depends. It depends on who's on old tires, who's on new tires, which lane's moving. But, yeah, if you're up front, you want to be on the bottom.
Well, it's going to get very interesting. Got a couple of HendrickCars.com Chevrolet Camaros that will restart 1 and 2 in rows 1 and 2. Rajah Caruth, Corey Day there on the outside. Harrison Burton, Justin All.
Rides his way to the outside lane on Burton now. That'll be the battle for the second spot. Burton down low. Corey Day up high. Behind them, it's Sammy Smith.
And Justin Allgaier and Jeb Burton looking on. 3 wide further back, the bumping and grinding. The kickoff stage 3 is on as Rajah Caruth leads the field to turn 2.
Leads the way off turn 2. Harrison Burton rides in second. One car gets turned around midway through turn number 2, and everybody's going to scatter and make evasive maneuvers. They'll get by to keep that a single car spin.
And that was Parker Retzloff. That was on the outside of a 3 wide. Simply bumper cars. Sheldon Creed to the inside of Patrick Starpoli. Moved Patrick up the track. Patrick with nowhere to go. Got into the left side of the Parker Retzloff car. Poor old Parker was the one that was the odd man out. When the music stopped, there were no chairs left to sit on.
I imagine Ryan Priest 3 wide on the outside with all that going on to your inside. Not a comfortable spot to be in at Martinsville.
Definitely not, but I think if you're thinking about right now and looking at this race and the pace of the race, there's going to be quite a few cautions. So I don't know when the fuel window opens to get to the end of the race or where you're going to want to be with tires, but all I'm thinking about right now, if we want to win, is track position.
And we've seen that play out. And yes, this is a different series, different cars and whatnot. Ryan, do you look at this and say, man, I know we run a little bit of a different tire. Is this something you learn here from this?
Our race is going to be completely different. Just from what I felt earlier today, tires were really falling off and going to be an absolute handful tomorrow. So, yeah, I think our race is definitely going to be about forward drive and keeping the car, turning enough but not being too loose so you can still get a good run up off the corner. But, yeah, I think the way our race is going to play out is completely different.
We've been hearing a lot about more horsepower, tire fall off, or the lap times, really falling off. That kicked in at Darlington last weekend, and it's taken us a while to get here. Are you happy with the successes that we've had so far in that department?
Absolutely, but I'm definitely greedy. I want more. So, but yeah, hats off to NASCAR, hats off to Goodyear, and all the teams for working hard to put a great product out there.
Pit lane is open. Only Parker Retzloff, who spun, is coming in. So why don't we sweep the pit lane with our reporters and find out what the strategy and the thinking is from here on out with 115 laps remaining. Steve Post.
Yeah, you're right. Parker Retzloff is in, but he has those scuffed up tires after spinning out there. We are right on the outside edge of the fuel window. I guess if we get a fair number of cautions, which wouldn't be a shocker, they could make it on the end. But this is a little too soon to put those last sets of Goodyear Racing Eagles on. I heard, talked to a couple crew chiefs. They want to get at least 30 or 40 laps into this run, putting you down to 70, 80 laps maybe to go before you put those last sets of tires on. So I think we get another caution here in another 12, 15, 18 laps. I think they've got a decision to make now. Driver that's leading is Rajah Caruth. And Chris, you report on the pit stop that they were going to come in and they did not. What's the story with Rajah?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, Steve, in listening to Marty Lindley was just keeping the track position. They were happy with what the race car was doing. The fall off wasn't really disastrous to where they were going to drop through the field. So he last pitted on lap 65. We're well over now 70 laps on this set of tires. Marty Lindley queued up the radio under the caution and said, just keep it straight off the corners, protect the right rear, don't get the right front too hot. And if once we get in our window, which he was saying will be just inside the 100 to go marks in about 15 to 20 laps, once we get the opportunity, we'll put tires on it and you're free to go and go try to win this race. So they think that the track position will help them by leading. They may, even if they fall back to second or third, it'd be much better than pitting and then trying to maintain and save your equipment for a longer run. So lap 65 was his last pit stop, but he's holding tough here at the choose at the front of the field.
And they've just been given the 1 to go indicator. Rajah choosing to restart on the inside of the front row. Harrison Burton will restart in alongside him on row 1 with Corey Day, Sammy Smith, and Justin Allgaier, the rest of the top 5. This will not conclude our racing program today. Be sure to tune in tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have live coverage of the Whelen Modified Tour. Virginia is for Racing Lovers 200. It was rained out last night. Going to have coverage for you tonight. And, of course, we're back tomorrow with the NASCAR Cup Series Cookout 400. Motor Racing Network and NASCAR Live Race Day on the air at 2:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow here from Martinsville.
Pace car gets off the racetrack. Rajah Caruth, the race leader, opts for the inside lane. Harrison Burton, for the second consecutive restart, will go to his outside. Here they are in the Poet restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air. Rajah Caruth gets a fender out in front, leaves everybody else to fight for scraps from second on back.
Sammy Smith took a look from row 3 to go 3 wide to the bottom. Thought better of it on entry into turn 1. They are 2 by 2. Noah's Ark formation all the way back through the field.
Here's Rajah. He'll slide up the racetrack, and he gave the brief opening to Corey Day down low. Corey exercising some restraint, instead deciding to follow him and ride in third.
Rajah Caruth has the lead by about a half a car length in that outside lane. Burton trying to hang with him off turn number 2. Can't do it. He's got some daylight, though. He'll slide back into line to hold on to second place.
And then Corey Day goes third, stacked up side by side for the 4th spot. Around the outside, it's Justin Allgaier to his Junior Motorsports teammate's right elbow, and that's Sammy Smith.
Outside lane is wide open, and Justin Allgaier paddling hard upstairs, trying to pick up that number 4 position. He drives around the outside, hasn't quite got him cleared into turn 3.
Harrison Burton is the meat in a Junior Motorsports Hendrick Motorsports sandwich right now. Rajah Caruth leads. It's Harrison, then Corey Day. Then you've got Allgaier and Sammy Smith rounding out the top 5.
Allgaier wedges his way back to the bottom of the racetrack across the nose of the Sammy Smith machine. He'll take sole possession of 4th. Smith in the 5th spot. Jesse Love to the inside of Brent Cruz.
Jesse Love looks like they've gotten the handling woes from early in the race somewhat cured on that Whelen red and white Chevrolet. He's racing for a spot in the back half of the top 10.
Jesse Love not at all good in the opening
Trouble,
run.
turn number 2. Patrick Starpoli gets turned around. Up the racetrack he goes. And for the second time of the afternoon, Parker Retzlaff will spin, make that Kyle Sieg in his first spin of the day. He'll spin to the bottom of the racetrack. 2 cars spinning. Turn 2, lap 142. The Hardy's caution is out.
So as the field will meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stag and Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, caution is out and pit road is open. We'll see if anybody comes to take tires. Rajah Caruth is looking. He will come to pit road. Harrison Burton and others will stay out. Right now, Rajah is the only one that makes the move to pit road from the race lead. Brandon Jones, deeper in the field, will decide to come in, along with Lee Pulliam. He'll come down the pit lane. Also, Ryan C. coming down. These pit stops happening at lap 145. Let's cover Rajah's stop.
Almost a little bit of surprise. Mike thought they maybe wait another several laps, but the caution coming out was Marty Lindley's cue to call his driver to pit road. 4 tires, no adjustments. Rajah said, it is absolutely perfect. I'm going to protect my tires from here to the end. He's down and away. Lee Pulliam dodged some damage. They're going to also change some tires and send him back out on his way. Steve, anybody by you?
Yeah, Brandon Jones is down here. They had that damage on the right rear, so they're a little off sequence. Here they are around to the left side of the Menards car. Going to be left side tires on, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and Brendan Jones is down and away. As far as when the leaders will pit, Justin Allgaier was just told we're 15 laps from the opening of the window on tires where it really seems to matter at this point. So I think another caution, another 15 laps, I think they'll have a chance to make some decisions here. Ryan Sieg also getting some pit service here on lap 145.
Off the track, the Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
From legendary races to heart-pounding finishes, NASCAR Channel is your 24/7 pit stop for all things NASCAR. Streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's greatest drivers. Dive into the NASCAR culture with shows about the cars, the teams, and the personalities that make it America's most exciting motorsport. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Start streaming now on Tubi.
We welcome you back to Martinsville Speedway as we work the Hardee's caution for the 7th time today. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network is live at Martinsville Speedway for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series NFPA 250. I'm Alex Hayden, alongside is Mike Bagley and RFK NASCAR Cup Series driver Ryan Preece high atop the start-finish line. Dave Moody's out in turn number 3 for us today with Steve Post and Chris Wilner on the pit lane.
When we hit the green flag, Ryan Preece, it'll be 101 laps to go. Looking to the crystal ball, what do you see happening here in short-term and long-term?
Well, I think there's probably going to be about another caution or two. But what I just saw with Rajah and Lee Pulliam and Brandon Jones, Lee Pulliam lost a bunch of track position. This is his opportunity to get back in the race, I think. So, I definitely think there's going to be a caution or two here. But, if they're in the next 25 laps and those guys decide to come down in 25 laps, they're not going to have that much of an advantage, and I think those guys just gained a bunch of track position.
Track position lost, that was referred to by Ryan Preece for Lee Pulliam as their previous pit stop. They had an uncontrolled tire and had to go to the tail end of the field.
Harrison Burton, the new leader of the NFPA 250. Corey Day, Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith, Brent Cruz, the top 5. Here they come through the Poet restart zone. Green flag is back up. Harrison Burton will scream by to the inside, takes sole possession of the lead in 1.
Good jump for Harrison Burton. He's away with the lead. Allgaier looking to wedge his way underneath on the exit of turn 2. Couldn't find room to do it. On the outside, Corey Day still trying to hang on to that number 2 spot.
But Harrison Burton will squirt out in front of the race field as they exit turn number 4. Burton is the race leader. They're stacked up from second on back.
Here comes the Gator down to the inside. Justin Allgaier powers his way to the low line, goes side by side for position number 2. Corey Day to his outside.
Harrison Burton driving for Sam Hunt Racing in 2026 brings them out of turn number 4 down to the start finish line. Harrison will lead by 2 car lengths over this ongoing battle for second.
Corey Day not going away without a fight here. He continues to ride the outside lane, going head-to-head with Justin Allgaier. Down the back straightaway, now Day will find some daylight. He slides down into the low line.
Leave them now stacked up from 4th on back. That will happen no longer. Jesse Love will get away with the 4th spot. Jeb Burton is on the attack for position number 5.
Burton boys both trying to work their way into the top 5 now. Jeb down to the inside as they make their way off 2 to the back straightaway. He tries to take the spot from Sammy Smith.
Last time through, Taylor Gray got hip checked out of turn number 4, got punted up the racetrack, losing about a handful of spots. Right now posted in the 22nd position. Battle for 5th is in turn 2.
Here they come off turn 2 to the back straightaway. That 5th spot is going to belong now to Jeb Burton. He makes his way to the inside, clears Sammy Smith. Now right behind him, here comes Quapple, here comes Brent Cruz to the bottom.
Cruz to the inside of the racetrack, leans on Sammy Smith just a bit. Monday is the birthday for young Brent Cruz. That'll put him at 18 years old. He'll be eligible to run every track the rest of the season.
He slides through to the inside, move Brent Cruz to the number 7 position. Right behind him, we haven't heard a lot from Austin Green this afternoon, but he's in the top 10.
Austin Green, the son of former NASCAR Busch Series champion David Green. Austin Green down to the inside, leaning on Sammy Smith for a spot inside the top 10.
Sammy Smith just rim riding the outside, but he's got nothing going right now in that outside lane. They are all lined up to his left elbow. Green to the inside, now Sheldon Creed.
Here comes Green to the inside. This is a small team based in Sanford, North Carolina. Jody Meesemer, the team manager, has been calling the shots for this team. Brad Brinkley is one of the full-time employees. Just 4 employees there at the shop, but they got it in the top 10.
Running well in the top 10 right now. Finally able to get back to the bottom of the racetrack is Sammy Smith.
Brad Perez gets roughed up further back. He gets driven off for the bottom of the racetrack. That happening with the front bumper of Parker Retzloff while we watch the battle for the lead shape up on the backstretch.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now, Mike, as we get on into the middle stages of the final stage. A lot of people that were patient before, patient no longer. They're all single file and behaving for the moment at the front.
All being led by Harrison Burton, won here at Martinsville Speedway in the O'Reilly Auto Parts division back in 2020, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, trying to do it again here, Mike, but he's got a long way to go. Still 91 laps remaining.
He's got the defending series champion in the rear view. Make that from a couple of years ago. Justin Allgaier, former series champion, basically working his back bumper over. Harrison doing yeoman's job right now. So you got Harrison Burton leading, Justin Allgaier in second, Corey Day in third, fourth is Jesse Love, fifth is Jeb Burton. Carson Quapple having a good run today. He's sixth. You got Brent Cruz in seventh. Austin Green is in eighth. Sammy Smith ninth, and Sheldon Creed is 10th.
Go ahead and run you down through the leaderboard here, as being scored 11th is Ross Chastain. 12th at the moment is Dean Thompson. Brennan Poole is 13th, and Austin Hill 14th. Sam Maris 15th. Andrew Patterson 16th. The battle for the leads in turn 3.
Justin Allgaier's been testing the bottom off turn 2. This time he makes it work. He slides to the inside. Justin Allgaier back to the lead.
And he'll lead his 66th lap of the afternoon. He'll complete that pass, and Harrison Burton's got more trouble brewing behind him.
There's knocking at the back door right now for Harrison Burton. He hangs on to the second spot, at least for the moment. Behind him, the gloves are off. Battling for that spot is Corey Day alongside Jesse Lowe.
88 laps to go in this one, Ryan Priest. Now, there's a large number of cars, those at the front of the field at the moment, that potentially still have to make a pit stop in this thing. How hard can you afford to really push things not knowing how long this stretch is going to be?
Yeah, well, I think you obviously see some guys are getting a little impatient and starting to move each other back and forth. And to be honest with you, the field is definitely starting to string out here to where there's less potential for a caution. But, yeah, they're definitely trying.
Well, right now, Ross Chastain, Dave, has got the heave-ho in turn 1 from Dean Thompson.
Yeah, he takes it all the way up to the safer barrier, and not by choice, hangs on to it, back to the bottom. He says, I'll just knock the heck out of Brennan Poole to make myself feel better.
Yeah, Brennan Poole, just innocent bystander. Meanwhile, Anthony Alfredo thinks about jamming it in there 3 wide underneath Chastain.
He has a better thought at the entrance to turn number 1, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. Closer to the front, battle on at the tail end of the top 5. Brent Cruz working on Jesse Lowe.
He's been trying to wedge his way under Jesse Lowe for the last couple of laps or so. He's got Carson Quapple, Jeb Jeb Burton and Austin Green looking on.
I think Cruz has got the faster car of that group. He continues to peak underneath Jesse Love at the exit of turn 2 and again at the exit of turn 4.
And you've got Quapple there, gets into the left rear quarter panel of Cruz, wiggles the back end of that red, white, and blue Mobil 1 Toyota, but Quapple just rolls out of the throttle and lets Cruz collect himself.
At a certain point, you just come to expect that here at Martinsville. If you don't get your neck snapped back coming out of turn number 4, you think that something's wrong. Right now, Jesse Love's got a trunk full of Brent Cruz.
Ryan Priest, let's talk about the position that Brent Cruz is in right now. Dave just mentioned that he felt that he had a faster car than Jesse Love. He's been trying to get by Jesse, while at the same time, Carson Quapple wants to take his spot. What kind of a spot is that Brent Cruz is in right now?
Well, as a driver, when you know the guy behind you is just as fast or faster than you want to try and distance yourself. So if I'm him, I'm doing anything I can to get by that 2 car to put somebody in between myself and the 1. So right here, this is it seems like he's getting a good run right here that he's going to have to capitalize on.
Making their way into turn 3.
And he will do exactly that. Drives to the inside on the back straightaway, drives under Jesse Love, move Brent Cruz to position 4.
He will clear Jesse Love at the start-finish line, but Dave, the problem for Jesse Love is the lane is opened up for Carson Quapple.
Yeah, there is no mercy being taken by Quapple. He will fill the hole to the left elbow of Jesse Love, down the back straightaway. They're side by side with Green in hot pursuit.
Yeah, Green is right on the bottom of the racetrack. That car cuts really well off the corner, but Green will roll out of the throttle. He'll let Jesse Love snap his car back down in line just in front of him.
Austin Green drove it deep into turn 3 to try and fill the hole underneath Jesse Love. He got there momentarily, then paid the price at the apex of the corner when he was a victim of his own momentum and had to check up.
We are describing the race for 6th between Jesse Love and Austin Green. It's 2.3 seconds behind race leader Justin Allgaier with 78 laps to go.
Today, the action heats up at Martinsville Speedway, and so does the Drive for Safety. The National Fire Protection Association, proud sponsor of the NFPA 250, is on a mission to keep you and your family safe. For 130 years, NFPA has helped create codes and standards that protect our homes, businesses, schools, and communities. Remember, safety doesn't happen by chance. Visit don'tchancesafety.org to learn more.
Jeff Gordon wins the Daytona 500.
Jeff Gordon's rise to one of NASCAR's all-time greatest drivers was one like no other. Relive Jeff Gordon's journey to the NASCAR Hall of Fame with the exclusive MRN podcast, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career. 93 Cup Series wins, 4 Cup Series championships, and 3 Daytona 500 wins, a career rivaled by few others. Check out MRN's Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
76 laps to go here at Martinsville. Justin Allgaier leads by 1.5 seconds over Harrison Burton, Corey Day, Brent Cruz, and Carson Quapple from Martinsville Speedway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, watching some spirited battles on the racetrack. Dave, one in particular involves Jeb Burton and Jesse Love.
Yeah, indeed it does. Jeb Burton wants by. Jesse Love is fading. Burton's about done being patient. He's tried for about 3 laps.
Yeah, he has, and right now Jeff Burton's going to have to settle in line and figure out how to get by. Further up, Corey Day's on the move.
Corey Day has fought his way to the inside of Brent Cruz. Needed a little bit of an application of the front bumper. Cruz on the outside holds him off. Now here comes Quapple to the outside.
Good 3-man dance for 3rd, 4th, and 5th with 70 to go. Cruz trying to hang on to the spot as they begin now. Caution in turn 2. One car will spin around. Ryan Ellis goes for a spin in the second corner. That will put us under Hardy's caution flag number 8.
And Steve Post, I imagine this is a very welcomed caution.
Well, it was starting to get interesting, and really what got interesting about it is what Ryan Priest said, that things were stringing out and there was less chance for a caution. Everybody, I believe, but Rajah Caruth needs another stop. They were starting to probably figure when they would be. It would still be 25 or 30 laps, I would think, but we're getting ready to see everybody on pit road right now because this
you're stuck with where you're at. I think the guys like Lee Pulliam and the ones that really pitted later on, I think those are the ones that they're going to give themselves the best opportunity to have a good run and have track position because their tires are really only going to be about 35 laps older than some of these other ones.
And Brandon Jones pitted back at lap 145 along with Rajah Caruth. Ryan Sieg pitted back then. Kyle Sieg came down for service. Lee Pulliam as well. So that was a handful of drivers that pitted back at lap 145, and perhaps maybe we're about to see another shuffling up of the leaderboard in this process.
Pit lane is open this time by as we expect pit lane to get very busy. The field is behind the pace car. One thing you cannot do by rule is pull up to pit, and everybody now really works their way up to back bumpers as Justin Allgaier, the race leader, and the rest of the lead lap cars look like they're going to come to the pit lane. Lee Pulliam will indeed stay on the racetrack. Let's start our pit coverage with Chris Wilner.
It's been a heck of a day for Harrison Burton. Haven't talked much about him running inside the top 5. Said I just need to be a little bit more connected to the racetrack. Started to get really loose. He also has quite a bit of a punch in the front grille of that Toyota, 4 tires, and Sunoco fuel. Also in his Jeff Burton said, I feel like I'm top 5 on the long run. Just help me fire off 4 Goodyear Eagles, Sunoco fuel, and the rest of the field down on the way, including Corey Day, who had a 4-tire stop. Steve Post.
Justin Allgaier in 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Really happy with the long run speed of that race car. Also happy with the long run speed of his race car is Brent Cruz. Here he is, 4 tires, Sunoco Fuel as well. Justin Allgaier wins the race off pit road. Brent Cruz goes out second. Carson Quapple was in 4 tires. His car just a little bit tight when he gets in the rubber. Minor adjustment there from Rodney Childers and the crew for Carson Quapple.
And he will come off pit lane in 3rd, Corey Day 4th, and a disagreement for 5th between Jesse Love and Harrison Burton. They are side by side on the racetrack, but both of those drivers having good pit service as well. So with this shuffling of pit stops versus those that have decided to stay out, Lee Pulliam will go to the lead here at Martinsville with 66 laps to go. Brandon Jones stayed out. Rajah Caruth, Patrick Staropoli stays out along with Ryan Sieg and Joey Gase. Myatt Snyder will stay out. So the front 7 cars are drivers that have pitted already. Justin Allgaier, the first off pit road, he's posted on the leaderboard in position number 8.
With that new top 5, the race leader, Lee Pulliam, 3rd place, Rajah Caruth, 4th place, Patrick Staropoli, and 5th place, Ryan Sieg. 4 of the current top 5 have never won an O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. And for drivers who get their first career win here at Martinsville Speedway, well, it's been done 6 different times. Going all the way back to March of 1982, Sam Ard was the first to do it. Brett Bodine did it in 1985. Brad Teague did it in 1987. Jeff Burton in 1990, Josh Berry in 2021, and Taylor Gray in October of 1 year ago.
So it is possible, but it's been a long, long time since it's happened. And Alex, with the faithful that have congregated today at the Martinsville Speedway and those listening to us this afternoon on the Motor Racing Network, I would say that the fans have shifted to Lee Pulliam as perhaps maybe that driver that not only could get his first ever win at Martinsville, but also bring some glory Corey back to the Commonwealth of Virginia.
And he's first ever O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start. A longtime late model stock car racer out of Virginia. Has been racing all over the Southeast his whole life. He's been owning and building late model cars for a long time. You mentioned it early in the broadcast. He's won an awful lot here at Martinsville Speedway in a late model car in the Valley Star Credit Union 300. He's the race leader, and he will choose the inside lane for this impending restart. Brandon Jones will go to the outside of the front row.
This will be the first time we've seen him with clean air on the nose of that Chevrolet today.
Yeah, no, and to be honest with you, I'm watching him right now, and I'm hoping he's working these tires in, because they're not. Yeah, he is. So, I feel really good about his chances, and the picture perfect way this race needs to go is really him firing off, having a clean restart, getting clean air, and then not having another caution. Less than likely, but that's what, if I'm him, that's what I want.
So they've waved off the start this time. We'll go around at least one more time. Ryan, you mentioned clean up the tires. What does that mean, and what are you trying to do for a new race fan's ears?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you just want to bring them up to temperature. You want to get grip in them, and by doing that, you have to warm them up, because when they cool off and they're cold, they're like bricks. They don't want to grip the racetrack. So it's really important to make sure you have grip in them.
So penalty being handed out for Taylor Gray, pitted outside the box. He's going to have to go all the way to the back of the field, as they've just given the 1-to-go signal again. Former Martinsville winner Taylor Gray faced with some late race strife and struggle with 63 to go.
Yeah, and I'm continuing to look. So 5 of the current top 6 have never won in an O'Reilly Series race. So this is going to get good here, and everybody's going to fight for every piece of real estate they have, Mike, as we get set to put them back under the green flag.
Pace cars on pit road. Lee Pulliam will restart on the inside. Brandon Jones to the outside. Rajah Caruth to the inside of row 2. He'll restart alongside Ryan Sieg. Through the Poet restart they go. Green flag goes back in the air, and Pulliam goes way late and barely comes up to speed. He does. Green is out. 62 to go in Martinsville.
Lee Pulliam on the inside. Brandon Jones on the outside. Pulliam is away with the lead. He'll take sole possession of the top spot. Down the back straightaway. Into turn 3. They're doing some calisthenics in the grandstands as the hometown son is up with the lead.
Lee Pulliam leads at Martinsville Speedway. He's got a car length over Rajah Caruth in second.
Caruth rides in that number 2 position. Brandon Jones is drop kicked back to 3rd. 4th spot belongs to Ryan Sieg. Justin Allgaier up to the number 5 spot.
Then they stack up from 6th on back. Patrick Staropoli has the inside lane. Carson Quapple working him over from the outside. Staropoli will grab the spot. Now Corey Day goes to work on Carson Quapple.
Quapple hung out to dry in that outside lane as they storm off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Now they're all going to go 2 abreast, about 5 rows deep. Quapple gets shoehorned up out of the groove by Corey Day.
Corey Day racing hard down to the bottom of the racetrack. They touch coming off turn 4. No harm, no foul. Just a Goodyear donut on the door side as they race their way to 2.
At the front of the pack, Lee Pulliam continues to show the way by about a car length and a half now over Rajah Caruth. Another car length back to Brandon Jones. 3 more to Justin Allgaier.
Further back, watching Corey Day work his way to the inside of Quapple. Behind them, Jesse Love, Brent Cruz going at it. Sammy Smith's got a good seat for that one.
Quapple tried to get to the bottom, but there's no way that Jesse Love was going to let him pull that off. He nosed underneath him, shoved him right back up the banking. They remain 2 by 2.
And that is hard racing there in the back half of the top 10. Jesse Love again to the inside of Carson Quapple. They're side by side. They'll look in the mirror and see 2 more cars side by side, Sammy Smith and Brent Cruz.
Carson Quapple's got a pretty good race car. He can hang with him in that outside lane. Oh, a little bit of door slam off turn 2 to the back straightaway. Jesse Love on the inside trying to move Quapple up the racetrack.
Meanwhile, Justin Allgaier moved Brandon Jones up the bottom of turn 4, and it allows Allgaier to get an inside look for 3rd.
Justin Allgaier down to the inside line. Brandon Jones up high, no contest. Allgaier will drive through. He'll take over the number 3 spot. Jones back to 4th. Patrick Staropoli to the inside on Sieg for for 5th.
That's a strong move by Patrick Staropoli, Harvard graduate. He's an eye surgeon out of Houston, Texas. He'll take over the number 5 spot.
Corey Day went shooting to the inside to try and take a 3-wide shot. Staropoli moved down to block him. It ruined his entrance line. He goes up the banking in 1, and now here comes Corey Day.
Corey Day going to lean on him for 5th off the corner. They make a little contact midway through the corner, but the traffic is stacked up. About a dozen others.
Trouble in turn number 3. Around is Brad Perez for the second time this afternoon. Garrett Smithley gets a piece of the action as well. Everybody able to refire and drive away.
See, now this is the tough part because Lee has a little bit older tires, and all those guys that just pitted are that much closer on the restart. So he was doing a heck of a job right there.
He was doing a great job of managing the lead. Lee Pulliam leading here with 54 laps to go, with Rajah Caruth, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, and Corey Day rounding out the top 5.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, or listen to the live MRN broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Getting down to it here at the Martinsville Speedway, 51 laps to go. Lee Pulliam leads, Rajah Caruth, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Corey Day. Patrick Staropoli is 6th, Ryan Sieg is 7th, Jesse Love is 8th, Sammy Smith is 9th, and Brent Cruz is 10th.
Pit lane is open this time by. We'll see if anybody elects to come in. At least for the moment, none of the front runners are going to make their way to pit road. So the top 10 all going to stay on the racetrack. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
93. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Back here at the Martinsville Speedway, the Norfolk Southern Railway is active yet again as a long train at a snail's pace passing by. No doubt the engineers wanting to get a peek of what was going on here at the Martinsville Speedway. And what's going on is the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series NFPA 250.
Don't forget, later this evening, Motor Racing Network will have coverage of the Whelen Modified Tour. Virginia is for Racing Lovers 200. It was rained out one night ago, but we are back with it tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Patrick Emmerling and Danny Bone on the front row for that one. Nothing like the Mod Squad racing here at Martinsville Speedway. Are you chomping at the bit, wishing you'd entered that race tonight?
I am. You know what? I told everybody that once the race actually took the green flag that I'd be wishing I was doing it. And that will be the case, but certainly it'll be cool to see the crowd, knowing the modifieds that they're here. They'll stick around and check that race out, and I'm sure it's going to be a great one.
You're a NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion as we just get the one-to-go signal to go back under the green flag. What's it like driving a modified around this racetrack? Basically like driving the Cup car, except we don't shift. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the most similar that they've ever been, and I am really, really looking forward to the increase in horsepower, the softer tires. It's going to make for a great show.
It is going to be a great race tonight. We invite you to join us again, 7:30 bells Eastern. The Virginia is for racing lovers. 200 pace cars on pit road. Green flag will fly with 48 to go.
Here they come up off of turn number 4. Lee Pulliam, the race leaders on the inside lane. Green flag in the air. A much better restart. He had no choice but to go because Justin Allgaier shoved him all the way to 1.
Had his rear wheels almost in the air at the exit of the restart zone, but it worked out just fine for Lee Pulliam. He's away with the lead. They're looking 3 wide into the corner. Justin Allgaier gets body slammed by Corey Day. Everybody gets away.
Rajah Caruth will get away with second as Nick Sanchez makes contact with the outside wall in turn 3. We stay green for now. The leaders are on the backstretch.
Sanchez limping down to the inside on the front straightaway at reduced pace as Lee Pulliam runs at the front of the pack. They are 3 wide back around the tail end of the top 10.
And it is not playing nice back there. You've got Carson Quapple, Ryan Sieg, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, Patrick Starr. Poley gets moved up the racetrack.
He is the man 3 wide on the outside, just fighting for real estate now. They may get out of this without any problems, but then again, they're still at it going into turn number 3. This time Ryan Sieg gets the heave-ho.
Oh, and Patrick Starr Poley gets it as well. It's a rugby scrum just outside of the top 10. It'll settle down to double wide formation after a very contact-filled lap.
Started out as bare knuckles. I think it went to brass knuckles before it was over, but everybody has settled down, at least for the moment, and that's just fine with Lee Pulliam, who leads by 4 car lengths.
Yeah, they wrecked 3 times on that one lap.
Trouble, turn 4, they weren't done after all. Into the fence goes Kyle Sieg. He got a piece of the Garrett Smithley machine, and this time they're not going to get away, but the green flag stays out.
Yeah, Garrett Smithley got the worst of that. He's got a lot of sparks and a damaged right front corner of his car, although he is rolling further back again, 3 wide. Jesse Love, you've got his teammate Austin Hill there, Brent Cruz. Pick a battle, Dave, yet again at Martinsville Speedway.
They haven't learned the lesson, that's for sure, and at the front of the pack, they're just praying to stay green. Lee Pulliam has got the lead. He's pulling away from a side-by-side battle for second.
Corey Day down to the inside of Rajah Caruth with Justin Allgaier there as well. Behind them, Sammy Smith inside, Brandon Jones outside.
The 200cars.com entries going tooth and nail for second and third. Inside line belongs to Corey Day. He's going to take that spot. Filling the hole on the inside, Justin Allgaier through for third.
Nick Sanchez halfway down the backstretch is crawling, and he's finally going to grab a gear and pull away at the tail end of the field as they work their way back to the corner, down to 41 laps to go. The front 6 cars are all Junior Motorsports and Hendrick Motorsports cars at the front of the field, Mike, here at Martinsville.
Of course, Junior Motorsports going for its 5th consecutive win in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And right now, with 40 to go, Lee Pulliam is the man in command, driving a Junior Motorsports Chevrolet this afternoon. His lead is 1.2 seconds over Corey Day. Got Justin Allgaier 3rd, Rajah Caruth 4th, Sammy Smith is 5th, but Dave, maybe not for long.
No, not for long. He's going to go to the inside now, try and make the move on Rajah Caruth. Caruth's car has gone tight, can't hold the bottom, and he may give up the spot.
As they work their way back across the line, I look back off turn 4. Ross Chastain moves up the middle 3 wide. They nearly turned all 3 of those cars around. You had William Sawalich in it, and back in turn 1, and all kinds of smoke from Garrett Smithley's right front. That car's beat all up, and he's going to have to take it back to the pit lane here. 39 laps to go, Mike, and there's all kinds of stuff happening around the racetrack.
Sammy Smith has gotten by Rajah Caruth for position number 4, Dave, and here's Carson Quapple on the move off 2.
Wish I had a couple of extra eyes right now because there's a lot going on. Down to the inside, here comes Quapple making his way under Rajah Caruth, who now is in full fade.
He is, and he's just going to try to hang on at the moment. So Ryan Priestley, Pulliam the race leader. He's got 4 car lengths over an ongoing battle for second. Your first ever O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start at your home racetrack where you've won 2 late model races. You've got 36 laps to go. How nervous are you as a race car driver, or are you at this point?
I don't think he's nervous because this is something he's done all his life. If I'm Corey Day and Justin Allgaier, it's kind of like when we all went to Mexico and nobody wanted to be around Daniel Suarez, because if you moved him or wrecked him for the win, no one was going to let you out of there. Well, same thing here at Martinsville Speedway. This is Lee Pulliam country. And if you are the guy that moves him out of the way for the win or wrecks him, boy, you're going to have trouble getting out of this place. But yeah, Lee, what I've noticed about this entire race and how he's driving, he's what I feel like taking care of the tires, and something that should pay dividends. So I know the 17 and the 7 are running him down, but I still feel pretty good about my odds with Lee Pulliam.
If you move Lee Pulliam and wreck him, law enforcement probably won't escort you out. They'll jump in the fight as well. Everybody in this racetrack is a Lee Pulliam fan. We've seen the locals go crazy all day long. But
trouble turn 3. Nick Sanchez, that right front tire has finally given up the ghost. He slides up, caroms off the safer barrier, and brings out the caution flag.
For the 10th time today, the Hardee's caution flag is flying. 34 laps remaining, and Lee Pulliam is the race leader.
Here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR, from the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, diecast, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
This is Justin Allgaier. You're listening to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series on the Motor Racing Network. Now, back to the race.
They'll come back down to the line this time by. There will be 30 laps remaining in the 250 scheduled green flag laps here for the NFPA 250 for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Again, don't forget, NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, 7:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, right here on the Motor Racing Network, as they run the Virginia is for Racing Lovers 200, race 2 of their 2026 campaign.
I noticed how you emphasized scheduled distance. These races at Martinsville for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series have gone into overtime 7 times, including the last 3. So, stands to reason that we've got a good odds that perhaps maybe we'll add a 4th in a row.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's up to the drivers. They're the ones holding the steering wheels and working the pedals out there. All right, so driver Ryan Preece, what do you do now? You're Lee Pulliam. Do you want a lot of chatter in your earpieces from the team, or is this one of those moments you just want to be to yourself?
Probably just be to myself, and I'm sure he's probably the same way. He doesn't need a coach right now. What he needs to do is just focus on keeping those tires hot, keeping them clean, having a good restart, and driving away.
What's amazing about Lee Pulliam, and this goes to Bubba Pollard, this goes to late model racers that get the call to come up to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Obviously, late model cars are lighter, and these are much heavier and if there is a transition or an adjustment to make it transparent to us on this side of the fence, and it's pretty impressive to watch that transition for them.
Yeah, so for Lee and guys that come from late model stocks, I would say these cars are very similar to what they raced, with the truck arms and everything they have there. So the transition is probably as close as it would ever be, and he's doing a great job. And the other thing is, usually you have younger guys, they'll get nervous being in this position. He's right at home. He's excited. He's probably loving every bit of this.
So Lee Pulliam is the race leader. We'll come down to the line. There'll be 28 laps to go. We'll see if we indeed get the one to go. The flag stand, we'll wait and see. Nope, we will not get it this time by. So we'll go around at least one more opportunity. Front side of the racetrack now ensconced in shade. Brilliant Virginia sunshine. The rest of the speedway as we get closer and closer to wrapping this thing up.
We've been speaking a lot of Lee Pulliam, but let's pause for a moment and give Corey Day a shout out. This is a driver that, quite frankly, at the beginning part of the season was quite rambunctious, and he was beginning to get a bad reputation. And he had that aha moment to where all of a sudden he settled down and the car's been strong. This is Hendrick Motorsports' first full-time season in this series in the last decade or so. And they tapped Corey Day, who obviously has a lot of experience in sprint cars and lighter cars. I mean, Kyle Larson has a ringing endorsement of this young man. And now that things have settled down in the racing season, he's been rattling off top 5s and top 10s, and now he stands on the doorstep to win his first NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race.
5 consecutive top 10 finishes for Corey Day. That's the best streak in top 10s of anybody in this series, including Justin Allgaier. So yeah, you're right. Corey Day is quietly trying to put some of those critics behind him, focus on the task at hand, and the more you drive, the more experience you get, the more comfortable you get with your team. And doesn't matter what series you come from, when you move up the ladder, there's a learning curve that comes along with it.
Yeah, typically. But what I'll say is Lee Pulliam's kind of putting that whole thing to bed on it, right? Because that just goes to show you experience and time and age and winning races. You can't. If you got it, you got it. And this is yeah, he has a lot of laps around Martinsville, but this is a car he's never driven before, and he's out here leading. So yeah, I'm super proud of Lee Pulliam and what he's representing for a lot of short track racers. But yeah, the 17's doing a good job as well today.
We're about to get the one to go signal. This caution a bit extended because after Nick Sanchez made contact with the wall in front of Dave Moody, he brought the car to pit road, but the right front is so in a state of disrepair, they've had to take the right front off the car. A wrecker is on pit road to hook up to Nick's car and to take it back into the O'Reilly Auto Parts garage. They're doing that right now. They can't get the one to go and turn them loose with the wrecker on the pit lane. So once we clear that piece of safety apparatus off pit road, we'll be good to go. That's why the one to go signal is given right now. And Alex, when they come back to the line, it'll be a 25-lap sprint to the finish.
One thing to factor in this equation, race leader Lee Pulliam was last on pit road on lap 145. Everybody behind him was on pit road at lap 183, which means Pulliam has 38-lap older tires than everybody else. But we've seen, if you maintain track position, we haven't seen that drastic of a drop-off.
Second place, Corey Day has chosen to restart on the inside of row 2. Justin Allgaier will restart to Lee Pulliam's right elbow with 25 to go. Pace car is on pit road. Here we go for what is hopefully the sprint to the finish.
Here they come through turns 3 and 4. You can't get on the throttle until you get to the Poet restart zone. Lee does it right when he gets to the line. May have missed a shift. Allgaier will get away, but here comes Pulliam rallying back downstairs.
Pulliam draws even on the midway mark of turns 1 and 2. They're side by side of the back straightaway. They bang together midway down the back chute. Justin Allgaier by half a car length. Pulliam trying to hang on.
Pulliam sawing on the steering wheel coming off the corner. They bang once, twice, 3 times off the corner. Allgaier will lead except for just a fender. Pulliam hanging on for dear life back to the corner.
Racing for the lead and potentially the win in the late stages here at Martinsville. Allgaier with a great run off the top. Justin Allgaier around the outside to the lead.
Now Allgaier's going to try to run away and hide. Pulliam now gets roughed up in the second spot. Corey Day gets into the back bumper. Day goes to the inside. Carson Quapple there trying to fill the hole as well.
A lap ago he was battling for the lead. Now he's fighting for his life in that outside lane. Lee Pulliam trying to hang on to the high groove. Corey Day down to the inside. He's got Quapple
Travel back straightaway. Ross Ross Chastain will get turned around in the face of traffic. Hardy's caution flag number 11 will fly over the NFPA 250. Things got a bit cattywampus on the back straightaway. Ross Chastain was pointed to the infield. He was able to correct, and the car spun back up into the face of traffic. Nobody else was involved, but what a wild ride for Ross Chastain on the backstretch at lap 228.
With Justin Allgaier the race leader, Lee Pulliam will be second, Corey Day third, Sammy Smith fourth, and Carson Quapple rounding out the top five. It's important because that is the order with which they will choose the lane to restart in coming up. Justin Allgaier, Ryan Preece, we expect to take the inside lane when it's time. What about second place Lee Pulliam? Now he's in a different position.
Yeah, I think he's in a different type of position where before he was on offense but defense at the same time. Now it's just offense. Now all he's thinking about doing is trying to get a good run, probably on the outside, and try and clear the 7, but it's going to be tough.
I know that perhaps maybe you want to race with a little courtesy because you're the newest kid on the block, but at the same time, could potentially the front bumper from Lee Pulliam come into play? That would be a very difficult proposition when you go to rough up a former series champion to do it.
Yeah, no, and one thing that I've noticed and been watching is Justin has been racing Lee with a lot of respect. So, do you want to harpoon the guy out of the way? No, but I think Lee, this who knows what could happen after this day, but does he want to go back home after this race and say, well, what happens if I didn't, or what happens if I did do this? So knowing him, he's gonna try and race him really hard and race him in a way that he could hang his hat on when he goes home.
Contact is all fair when it comes to racing at Martinsville. Flat out dumping somebody, that might draw a little stink eye from the competition out there. But we're a couple of laps away from determining where that's going to, or how that's going to play out. So why don't we let you know where your favorite driver is running, as we're down to just 20 laps to go.
Justin Allgaier leads, Lee Pulliam second, Corey Day third, Sammy Smith and Carson Quapple fourth and fifth, Sheldon Creed is sixth, Rajah Caruth is seventh, Jesse Love is eighth, Brandon Jones ninth, and Brent Cruz is 10th.
11th is Austin Hill, Austin Green is 12th, Dean Thompson 13th, Sam Mayer is 14th, and William Sawalich 15th, Jep Burton 16th, Harrison Burton is 17th, Parker Retzloff is 18th, Anthony Alfredo 19th, and Andrew Patterson is 20th.
LeVar Scott is 21st, Taylor Gray is 22nd, Ryan Sieg is 23rd with Ross Chastain 24th and Josh Williams in 25th, Patrick Starpoli is 26th, Brad Perez is 27th, Brennan Poole is 28th, Myatt Snyder is 29th, and Joey Gase is 30th.
31st is Blaine Perkins, 32nd is Garrett Smithley, Nick Sanchez is 33rd, Kyle Sieg 34th, Josh Palicki is 35th, Ryan Ellis 36th, Jeremy Clements 37th, and Luke Baldwin will finish today's race in the 38th position. Well, Justin Allgaier will be the first to choose what lane to restart in. We get the one to go this time by, and they've got about 250 yards to determine what lane they want to choose.
Well, here comes the safety car out of turn 4, and indeed they are getting the indicator. One lap, and we'll go back under green. Let's see what we do here. Justin Allgaier will more than likely choose the inside. He does. Lee Pulliam will go up top. He will restart on the outside of row 1. Corey Day and Sammy Smith will opt to restart on the inside of row 2 and 3. Sheldon Creed will do the same. Carson Quapple is going to get the boost, and he will restart on the outside of row 2. So you've got not necessarily the altering inside-outside. You got a little strategy being played in this choose coming to 17 to go.
Yeah, so that means here in the first 4 positions, Justin Allgaier is the only one that's won at this level. The other 3, second, third, and fourth right now, have never won in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and there's a grandfather clock at stake.
The H. Clay Earls grandfather clock, named after the founder of this very racetrack, a track that's been online since NASCAR, even before NASCAR was formed, back in 1947. They ran their first race here at the Martinsville Speedway. Here we go. 17 laps remain this afternoon.
Field exits turn number 4. Justin Allgaier, the control car this time. Oh, Lee Pulliam doesn't come up to speed, and they're crashing behind him. We've got an absolute log jam on the front straightaway. Lee Pulliam did not come up to speed for the second straight restart. Pulliam got hit in the back bumper. He'll continue on, but there is a parking lot and a junkyard here on the front straightaway. You've got Brent Cruz in it. You've got Anthony Alfredo, LeVar Scott. You've got, let's see, other cars, Jep Burton, Taylor Gray's in it. Austin Green is in it. Harrison Burton. Josh Williams is in it. The list goes on and on. Ryan Sieg's got damage to his race car.
3/4 of the field is involved in this.
Yeah, and they're going to stop the field in turn number 4 because the front straightaway just past the start-finish line is still blocked as the AMR safety team is on the scene.
Today, the action heats up at Martinsville Speedway, and so does the Drive for Safety. The National Fire Protection Association, proud sponsor of the NFPA 250, is on a mission to keep you and your family safe. For 130 years, NFPA has helped create codes and standards that protect our homes, businesses, schools, and communities. Remember, safety doesn't happen by chance. Visit don'tchancesafety.org to learn more.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Red flag is out here at Martinsville Speedway with 16 laps to go for a multi-car crash. Nearly half the field has crashed here just past the start-finish line. It started on the restart when Lee Pulliam on the outside lane apparently missed a shift with the gears, and the car bogged down, and everybody from behind him started log jamming and crashing behind him. Pulliam was able to get away. He's still being scored, it looks like, in the number 2 position. But cleanup continuing here on the front straightaway as we sit under the red flag. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menard Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Austin Hill. You are listening to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on the Motor Racing Network. Now back to the race.
16 laps to go here in the NFPA 250 for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. The red flag is out for a multi-car crash here at the start-finish line and just beyond. Handful of drivers were unable to drive their cars away. Jeb Burton is one of those drivers. Josh Williams could not drive his race car away from the accident site either. Other cars that couldn't drive away, Andrew Patterson didn't. Austin Green did not either. And if we thought we had a lot of speedy drive on the racetrack from a caution earlier, double it.
Normally we see this type of wreck at Daytona and Talladega. Martinsville Speedway has just entered the chat because we have wadded up a lot of race cars and a lot of fluid has been put down not only on the back straightaway but also on the front stretch. A lot of fluid being tended to from the Austin Green car, from the Josh Williams car, Andrew Patterson, as you mentioned a few moments ago. I mean, several applications. I mean, David joked earlier that there was a 40 bagger. I would say we're in upwards of north of 50 or 60 bags that are going to be needed for this one. There has been a lot of fluid dropped on this racetrack.
Yeah, there has, and there's debris scattered down the racetrack headed off into turn number 1. Jeb Burton's car has stopped in the midpoint of turns 1 and 2. It's being put on the tow truck, and it'll be drugged back to the garage area. He did climb out of the race car under his own power, but the infield care center is becoming a very busy place.
Ryan, I know that this is a very difficult spot to be in when you have somebody at the front miss a shift. You're mid-pack on back, and all of a sudden basically the field's coming apart. You're just trying to make your way through. It cannot be a very comfortable spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely on attack mode at that point, so you are not anticipating everybody checking up halfway down the straightaway, and that's why I think, the guys that were running 10th, 15th, 20th really got a lot of damage there.
It's a tough break. It is, because there's a lot of drivers that were poised and in position to have a good finish here today that has been completely wiped out. But there's still 16 laps to go, and a good number, half the field, still on the racetrack. And some of those cars that were involved in this crash were able to drive on and get towards the tail end of the field. Walking wounded, aren't very many cars, Mike, that don't have some kind of damage to them right now.
We have a lot of cars on the racetrack, but a lot of those cars, Dave, have dents and dings from prior crashes, but the majority of them have dents and dings from this occurrence right here at lap 233.
Yeah, the Brandon Jones machine is a good case in point, Mike. He's parked just past me here on toward turn number 4. The right rear corner of that car was rather precisely amputated in a crash early on in the event. Now the right front is just about gone. They pushed the back bumper back forward to about where the fuel cell usually lives. The left rear is all torn to pieces. Brandon Jones could take that one home in a basket right about now, but it's not leaking fluid, and it appears to still be running.
And has all 4 Goodyears pointed in the right direction, and that seems to be the only thing you need right now. And Brandon Jones, through all of this, is still in the top 10 as we sit under the red flag in the number 9 position.
Of course, sun's beginning to set here at Martinsville. Before long, the lighting system will be fired up, and we're going to go modified racing tonight. The Virginia is for Racing Lovers 200. Last night, postponed by weather. Tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have coverage of the Mod Squad here at the Martinsville Speedway. It'll be their second race of 2026, the first happening before we even started our events for Speed Weeks back at Daytona International Speedway. So they will have their second race of the season as we head trackside to hear from Chris.
And here with Adam Wall, crew chief for Corey Day. You guys have had another solid day being up front, fresher tires there. What's the message to Corey on the level of aggression we're about to experience on this kind of shoot to the finish here?
Yeah, I mean, just let him do his thing. He's watched enough of the end of these races to kind of know how it's going to go. But yeah, he's done a great job with the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet all day.
He's come a long way here this year. I know there were parts of the year he's made not a lot of friends out on the racetrack, but at a place like this, it's hard to have friends. So what do you like about what you've seen out of him as far as his poise and composure in these kind of situations?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. Just getting through those first few laps of the restart, and then our car really comes to life. So I think he's just done a good job of getting through those first 3 laps fairly clean, yeah.
What has been the key to this season? Finding things clicking together, the string of top 10s, the top 5s. I mean, it feels like things are gelling, but there's that next level to get a victory. So how has that progression been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I put a lot of that on him. Like he's stepped up, he's shown up every week. He's really put that on his shoulders to take us to that next level, and I look forward to taking that next step.
Now you get to sit and watch this last restart. What is it like just sitting atop the box and knowing what's about to come?
Yeah, there's not a lot we can do at this point. We got a good seat for it, though, down here. I like that.
Yeah, all the way down here in a different zip code. They're pit stall number 1 on pit entry. That's Adam Wall, crew chief for Corey Day as he tries to get his first career O'Reilly Auto Parts Series win.
So we still sit under the red flag, 16 laps to go. So, Ryan, in a scenario like this, you've been through a handful of restarts now as a driver. Do you need the input from your team, and do you welcome input from your team at this point, or is this completely up to you? You know exactly what your car's doing.
This is when the gloves are off, and this is when the fight really begins, because even if we get rolling here, I don't think we're done seeing cautions, and I honestly think that this race is going to end in a green-white checkers. So for me, it's all about just trying to out-execute everybody else and know that the punches are going to be thrown and just try to keep control of the car.
Perhaps literally and figuratively. We've seen that happen before here at Martinsville. Total of 19 cars involved in this crash on the front straightaway, and it started when Lee Pulliam didn't go on the restart. Chris Wilner, what's the update on his car?
Yeah, well, first, Lee Pulliam just offered so many apologies to the rest of the field, saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I felt like I corrected what I did wrong on the last time, but something's going on with the launch of his Chevrolet. They feel like it was a little bit of a mixture of maybe having some cold tires, but then he was saying maybe I need to change it, which gear I'm going to restart in. He feels like maybe something wasn't engaging as far as getting from second to third gear. Even Dale Jr., who's sitting on the top of the pit box and has been coaching Lee Pulliam during a couple of the different cautions, saying I think maybe third gear to kind of take another variable out of it, give you a smoother restart may be the case. But certainly he has felt awful about what just transpired. Of course, still sitting in a good position here, losing a few spots, but the damage is not so critical on his Chevrolet. Just a little bit of rear end damage after getting run into in the back when he had that issue coming to the restart. But Ryan, I'd ask you as a race car driver, I mean, what restarting in third gear, will that obviously help things, but you won't get the launch that you really want. So I guess what are kind of the thought process from the driver's seat?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Obviously you're not going to have all the torque of the engine helping you get going, but at the same time, maybe it'll help manage wheel spin. So for him, depending on where he's going to be restarting, I think you're just going to have to time the restart and just try to keep forward momentum going. So obviously at this point, it's just about having a smooth restart and trying to get to turn one, because we've seen how well he's able to get through 1 and 2 and have a good launch off of there.
We have had 12 Hardee's caution flags for the notes that you're keeping at home, and we know you are. The most caution flags here in this series at Martinsville is 19 caution flags, and let's hope this will be our one and only red flag of the race.
What makes Toyota Racing Toyota Racing? It's not just how we drive, it's why we drive. Bubba Wallace drives with resilience, building himself back up with a Toyota team that never lets him stay down. Jade Evadissian drives with determination to be faster, sharper, every lap, every day. Christopher Bell drives with inspiration, because when talent meets the perfect team, you don't just win, you inspire what comes next. Toyota Racing, your race, your story. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, or listen to the live MRN broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com. We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 Tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race out from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
This is Brandon Jones. You are listening to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series on the Motor Racing Network. Now, back to the race.
Back in Martinsville Speedway, still under the red flag, an awful lot of cleanup still needs to take place. All the race cars that were damaged have been towed back to the garage area. The problem is, Mike, there's so much fluid on the track all the way around that there's an awful lot of cleanup that has to take place.
And that cleanup is happening as we speak. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. $16 laps to go in the NFPA 200 or 250, that is, for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Motor Racing Network is with you with our live continuing coverage here from the Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Mike Bagley alongside Alex Hayden and Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing driver Ryan Preece. We've got Dave Moody in the corners, Chris Wilner and Steve Post in the pits and the garage. And in the case of Posty right now, he is with one driver that has just stepped from the care center after a 19-car crash has put us under the red flag. Steve?
And that driver's Andrew Patterson. We'll talk about the wreck here in a little bit, but Andrew, we documented your story, getting the opportunity with Jordan Anderson. Up until the last 15 or 20 minutes, how was your experience running your first O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race?
Yeah, it was great. The guys, they've gone above and beyond for me to get this opportunity and, put in the work at the shop to give me a shot to, come out here and be competitive. And I felt like it was a good day overall. I mean, I learned a ton throughout the course of this race. Made decent adjustments on it. I felt like just the multitude of new things that I was experiencing in the car probably threw off our adjustments a little bit. So I probably led us down the wrong road for a minute, then had to veer back and get us back on track. And they did a great job all day, and I was just learning every lap, man. I was living a dream out there as an interior guy that gets to drive the race car. So all in all, a lot to take away from today. I felt like I learned a ton, and we'll go back to the shop and tear it down and see what we got next time.
We've got listeners all across the country that have never been in a big crash like that. What was your perspective? What did you see on a restart crash like that?
The closest thing I can compare it to is if you're running down the highway and traffic just absolutely stops. That's about the closest I can get. We were rolling. I think I had just grabbed fourth, and it all just came back to me. I got on the brakes, and then I drove through and pushed into it, and I'm sure that was the story through the whole lane. But my guess is somebody missed a shift, and that just threw the top lane away on that one. So hate it for my guys. They brought me a good car, and we'll go back to the shop, and I'll help cut it apart and tear it down, and we'll keep rolling.
How excited are you now for Rockingham? Now you got a little taste of this.
Oh man, I can't wait. I've been to Rockingham. We ran the ARCA race out there. Got to do a little testing there in the winter, in the off season. So. I feel good about that place. Got some good sim time. All our partners, Wind Supply, SDS Gearbox, they're what's making this happen for me. Jordan, he's been on my back since day one, since I moved down to North Carolina as an 18-year-old kid. So I can't thank everybody enough, and I'm ready to go.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Andrew Patterson, what a great story. I know it didn't end well here with that crash, but 18 years old, on a wing and a prayer, moves to North Carolina, and here he is making his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut here today at Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, and it is. It's a great story. It is, but, that's the typical story for people who want to be in NASCAR racing. You pack up, and you don't have to be young. Take Dr. Patrick Staropoli. He's an accomplished eye surgeon. He's been having practice in Houston, Texas. Mike, when he now took over this ride, the 48 car full-time this season, he too put his professional career aside for a year to move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area, to be near the team, to be near the sport, to go all in this full-time season for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
One of the coolest things, when we got the press release across the desk that he was going to be racing for Big Machine Racing, I went and I Googled him, right, to get a taste of like what he does back in Houston. He's a board-certified medical and surgical retina specialist. His practice is Retina Consultants of Texas. They put a message on the website that said Dr. Staropoli is on temporary leave until November of 2026 to compete in the NASCAR Championship. His last day with the clinic was 1/16. However, if you're a patient of Dr. Staropoli, he is available for urgent consultations. So while he's probably at the racetrack doing all that he's doing, he probably has had to revisit matters with the practice and the patients that are in need of his care.
I applaud him. He's got a dream. He's no different than anybody else who wants to be in the sport of NASCAR racing. You have a dream and you have an opportunity to chase it. Do it, and that's exactly what he's doing. Let's go back to Steve Post.
Carson Quapple down here, this is a young driver that has a dream, and here he is running in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Run at the front of the field, Carson. What happened?
Yeah, we lined up P4 behind Polium there on that restart, and plain and simply missed a shift, right? And I wasn't at all ready for it. I had seen him do it, restarted 2 prior, and was able to get checked up and not hit him, but I thought after once he would figure it out and not do it again, but just bad circumstances there, and we lined up behind him, and we were the first ones to the scene of the crime. So super unfortunate for this whole Logistics Chevrolet team. Rodney and this whole team gave us a good car, and it was really good at the end, but we'd kind of worked on it, and it wasn't really an easy one for us. I felt like we kind of grinded our way back to the front and put wrenches in it all day and kind of hit on some stuff, and then there was some stuff that wasn't so good. So for us to get back up into the top 5 there, looking for for a top 3 position there after that restart. Super proud of, and just gotta, I guess, come back here with a little bit of redemption.
With the exception of the big crash, what was the racing like? What was a very typical Martinsville day of racing? You went to the back, you got to the front, of course, pit sequencing. Was there anything unique about this race, or was it pretty traditional Martinsville?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty traditional. I feel like it was kind of, I would say, rough the whole race, but it never got to the point where it was a crash fest, which was cool, right? And I did feel like, though, we were beating and banging and dooring each other and moving each other out of the way quite a bit, and a little more than I kind of was expecting, but it was all pretty clean, and we never really turned each other around. So it kind of gets to be a little bit of fun once you get into the rhythm of moving people out of the way and dooring people and getting moved. So just look forward to coming back here in the fall, and hopefully we are looking for a championship then.
There you have it. That is Carson Quaffle. He's out of the care center and all right, but got dinged up. I like it. He was the first man to the scene. He was right directly behind Lee Pulliam when that gear shift was missed.
And it's amazing the range of emotions that this sport can take a driver through. Last weekend, he finished 5th at the Darlington Raceway, and now with 16 laps to go at Martinsville, one of 19 drivers collected in a front stretch accident.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected to the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR, from the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, die-cast, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
16 laps to go at Martinsville. We continue under the red flag after a 19-car crash here on the front straightaway. Cleanup is just about buttoned up, so we should be poised and in position to provide you the stretch run for the NFPA 250 in a moment. From Martinsville Speedway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
This is Sammy Smith. You are listening to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on the Motor Racing Network. Now back to the race.
Back at the Martinsville Speedway, continuing under the red flag here in the NFPA 250. Brought out when 19 cars got collected. Looked like Lee Pulliam missed a shift on the restart, and he was restarting up front. That jacked up basically 3/4 of the field. Cars went spinning left, right, in any kind of direction. And right now we have been cleaning up the aftermath. Yes, there are parts and pieces, Alex, but from those wrecked race cars, they have deposited a lot of fluid on this racetrack.
Yeah, they have. And those drivers who are out of the race are out of the cars, obviously, and wandering around. But, Ryan, the drivers still in the race are still sitting buckled inside their race cars, and they just happen to be in turns 3 and 4 where the sun's beating down on top of them.
Chomping at the bit. It's warm there, at least in the car right now. Like, for the fans in the stands that are, in the shade right now, it's got to be a little chilly.
Let's check in with Chris Wilner in the pits. Chris?
Yeah, the crew chiefs are now starting to get a little stir-crazy. Corey Shea, crew chief for Sammy Smith, is currently sitting in the 3rd spot right now. You're down off the pit box, just trying to kill some of this time here. But your day's been pretty consistent. Started top 10, kind of been around the top 5, top 10 all day, but now you're in a good position here to get the win. So what's the message to Sammy here on this hopefully final restart?
Yeah, hopefully final restart. No, we're just going to pick opposite 17, either front row or right behind Justin. I told him lap times he was as quick as the 7, if not better, so we'll just give it a shot here. Hopefully we can come out in front.
There were so many different strategies, drivers on at least 3 different strategies at some point. Where did you guys feel like you played out in terms of that as far as the tire wear and what we've seen throughout the day? It's starting to get cool, too. The shadows are all along the front stretch now.
Yeah, after seeing the top 4 cars stayed out and won that second stage, we were just pitting as soon as we could for fuel. I was a little upset I didn't pit earlier, but I think it's worked out for the best.
Finally, last year in this race, Sammy was involved in quite the altercation at the end of it. Did you guys talk about that coming into this weekend, or do you kind of leave it on the driver to kind of learn from different situations?
No, he's grown so much from then. I didn't need to say a word to him.
It's Corey Shea. He's going to get back on the pit box. You hear it in the background. Engines have fired once again here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, they have. They're yet to roll the pace car in the field at this moment, but that'll be happening here any second. Dave Moody, you've been sitting out there in turn number 3. I see you reach down immediately and grab your button there to talk. What's the cleanup like down there in your section of the racetrack?
I think we're in pretty good shape, Alex. Yeah, I've just been sitting up here working on my tan a little bit before the sun gets away. The main problem was not through turns 3 and 4 because the wreckage never got this far, although a couple of cars, most notably the Quapple machine, went down pit road and just emptied itself of every ounce of fluid, so there was some cleanup that needed to be done there. But as far as I can tell right now, with the exception of the Harrison Burton car that sits in the middle of the back straightaway that may need some assistance or may not, I think we're just about good to go.
How many Martinsville hot dogs did you DoorDash underneath this red flag?
You know, I don't have access underneath this red flag, and no, that doesn't mean I need anybody to bring me any, but no, my count for the weekend is a very conservative 2, and both of those came yesterday.
Good for you, Dave. I appreciate your candor on that. As the engines have fired, the pace cars rolling, and the field begins to roll as well. When they come down to the line here off of turn number 4, we'll reset the running order for you with timing and scoring. After the caution was called and cars were crashing all over the place, NASCAR's had all this red flag time to sort out the actual running order. So it'll be Justin Allgaier as the race leader. Looks like Corey Day will be second. Sammy Smith will go third. Lee Pulliam will be fourth, and Mike fifth will be Sheldon Creed.
As they begin to creep down the front straightaway at pedestrian speed, they're swinging the cars back and forth. Of course, we still see some of the remnants of some of the fluid, but it's been, for the lack of a better term, sopped up by all the speedy dry, and they're making their way through that for the first time. So we'll update the leaderboard for you once it recycles. The good news is, with all the cars that have been brought to a stop in turn 3, none of them were leaking fluid. Doesn't look like we need any speedy dry applications over there in front of Dave. So right now everybody's been collected. When they come to the line, it'll be 15 laps to go. Pit road is open if anybody chooses to pit for service, and if you don't have damage on your race car, I don't see why you would. Brandon Jones will make an effort to come down the pit lane. Of course, Dave documented earlier that basically every corner that Toyota Supra has some sort of damage or another, and he was one of the 19 that was collected in this crash that brought out the red flag. So we're making our way across the line. Brandon Jones makes his way onto the pit lane. Harrison Burton has brought his car onto the pit lane for some damage repair. Kyle Sieg, Sam Mayer is also in, along with Joey Gase. Matter of fact, Brandon Jones brings his Toyota in for that damage repair. So let's refresh the leaderboard. Justin Allgaier, Corey Day, Sammy Smith, Lee Pulliam, and Sheldon Creed now round out the top 5 as we have 15 laps to go, and it'll be a lap or 2 more before we get the 1-to-go signal.
The longest green flag run of the day has only been 32 laps. At this point, when they come down to the line, there'll be 14 to go, as Mike just pointed out, but the likelihood, Ryan, that we're going to go, once we go green, all the way to the finish of this thing without another yellow?
I'm going to give that a 0% chance. Might be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Well, we have a track record in Martinsville that would back up Ryan's perspective, because late in the going at Martinsville, the last handful of times we've been here, I think Dave referred to it earlier as a bare knuckler turning into a brass knuckler. Things have gotten ramped up here the closer we get to the checkered flag, and well, we've seen it before. Late race cautions lead to more late race cautions. Let's just hope today's the exception.
Yeah, just a moment ago, Dave, we heard Steve Post ask Carson Quapple coming out of the Care Center if it's been a typical Martinsville race or a little more rambunctious. Dave, you've been coming here for decades. What do you think? Has this been typical?
I'd say pretty darn typical, yeah, Alex. This is what sells tickets at the paperclip. This is what people turn out to see. If you want to go to the ballet, go to the ballet. You know, put your white gloves on and have a very high society kind of moment. That's not what they buy their tickets to see here at Martinsville, and it seems to be working pretty well over the last 7 or 8 decades.
1 to go is the indication that's given to the field as they cross the start-finish line. Justin Allgaier will restart as the leader. Corey Day second. Sammy Smith third. Lee Pulliam fourth. Sheldon Creed will restart fifth. Jesse Love will restart sixth, with Rajah Caruth in seventh. Austin Hill in eighth. Dean Thompson ninth. And William Sawalich will restart in 10th.
So as the field now goes through all that cleanup, and this is just the point now, Mike, you just have to have the faith in the AMR safety team. They got all of that speedy dry cleaned up, and when you go into turn 1 at speed with just a few laps remaining in the race, your car is going to stick to the racetrack.
You're not going to get a good look at turn number 1 because with sunset happening at Martinsville, the shade is growing all the way down the front stretch, all the way through turn 1, in the middle of turn 1 and 2. So again, we'll see if all that's been buttoned up. Pace cars on pit road. We're set for a restart with 12 to go.
Here they come up off turn 4 into the Poet restart zone. Allgaier on the gas. He gets away with a lead. Sammy Smith will go to second. Corey Day, not a good start on the outside lane.
No, Day also got a terrible restart. Drops back to number 3 position and now begins to try and fight back in the outside lane. It's Allgaier with the lead. Down low, side-by-side battle for second. Sammy Smith on the inside.
Corey Day on the outside. Corey will get a good jump off the corner trying to clear Sammy Smith, but he can't do it in 1.
Sammy Smith hanging on to that low line, trying to shorten
Trouble, turn number 1. One car spins around and up and into the wall. It's William Sawalich that'll go for a ride. He's got damage on the right front of his machine and the left front as well, with a lot of smoke, Alex, coming out of the Lee Pulliam car.
Left front is smoking heavily on Lee Pulliam's machine. He's going to weave that car side to side, try to get that tire to self-remedy itself and maybe bend that fender up just a bit. But Ryan, your 0% of getting this thing in without a caution comes true.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. But, you know, I mean, cautions breed cautions, especially at Martinsville at the paperclip. With how close everybody is to each other, that's just, it was inevitable.
Looks like Brennan Poole got into Ross Chastain at corner entry. Chastain got crossed up, chased the car up the racetrack, and William Sawalich was right there as well. Brent Cruz had to swing wide, almost got collected as well. We're lucky that was just a one-car spin in turn number 1, but everybody getting jammed up and jacked up into 1 on the restart and the lap that ensued.
Justin Allgaier will remain the race leader. Corey Day will be second and have an opportunity at redemption on the restart. And then third will be Sammy Smith. Sheldon Creed fourth, and Lee Pulliam will be scored in position number 5.
That damage on the left front of Lee Pulliam's car, we had a chance to check it out on the NASCAR TV here at the racetrack. Jesse Love slid up off the bottom of the racetrack and basically gave him a bumper check, and that's what's caved in the left front of Lee Pulliam's car here with 9 to go.
So Justin Allgaier at the front of the field. Allgaier won stage number 1. He finished stage 2 in the 10th spot, and he's in position, at least at the moment, to try to score another win here on the 2026 campaign for Justin Allgaier, as he just absolutely continues to have just a remarkable start to his season.
Justin Allgaier comes across the line, and he has just led his 98th lap of the afternoon. What a year for Justin Allgaier. Crowned the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series champion a couple of years ago. He has 30 career wins. Right now he is tied with Joey Logano for 7th on the all-time win list. And he comes into this race 4 straight top 10s, 5 in 6 races, including 2 wins. This would be his 3rd win of 2026. And we've only just begun racing in this racing season.
Well, we can't give him the win yet, for sure. We got some racing still to do. Not sure exactly how many laps we'll have left in this. I can tell you the fans are getting excited. They're all beginning to congregate down towards the bottom rows here at the Martinsville Speedway front stretch grandstands, trying to get an up-close and personal view of the finish of this race. And then, of course, the opportunity to celebrate. One of the unique things and one of the cool things about Martinsville Speedway is Victory Lane itself is on the start-finish line, right up against the fence. And this racetrack is such old school. The fans are within shouting distance. The drivers can literally hear them when the engines shut off, and they can hear what these fans have to say.
It's a very intimate setting here at Martinsville, and of course, at the end of the day, one driver will be taking home an H. Clay Earl's grandfather clock. It's been given out since 1964, and most recently when the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series returned to Martinsville, they were able to partake in that haul as well. And the Martinsville clock is one of the most unique trophies because not only does it signify what you've been able to accomplish in an afternoon, it's a timepiece and also a home furnishing that every time you walk into your home, you are going to remember that day forever.
Every time that grandfather clock strikes 12, it lets you know.
It's a good thing to have, though, isn't it? Yeah, it truly is. We've just gotten the one to go. Allgaier chooses the inside lane. Corey Day will go to the outside. Row number 2, Sammy Smith and Sheldon Creed inside and out respectively. Row number 3, we'll see Lee Pulliam to the inside of the car of Rajah Caruth as they get set for another attempt at a restart. Mike, there will be 5 laps to go this time, and we're still in regulation.
Right now on the racetrack, they're lined up for the restart, and the fans are on their feet here at the Martinsville Speedway. Justin Allgaier, Corey Day, side by side, headed to the Poet restart zone, waiting for the green flag. It's up. Allgaier with a good jump. He'll clear Day before they get to the end of the front straightaway.
Trying to follow him through in the bottom is Sammy Smith. Smith wants a piece of that number 2 spot. Corey Day, hot and heavy in the outside lane, trying to hold him off. He'll do so, at least for the moment, into 3.
At Branch Chevrolet at the front of the field, Justin Allgaier up off turn number 4. 4 laps to go at Martinsville. He's got a car length on now, a side-by-side battle for the runner-up spot.
Justin Allgaier driving the getaway car now, just trying to leave the field behind as they battle tooth and nail for that number 2 position. Corey Day on the outside lane. Sammy Smith down low with Sheldon Creed in tow.
Leaning on each other for second. They come to the line. 3 to go at Martinsville. Corey Day, Sammy Smith, an ongoing battle for second.
And the harder they race for that number 2 and 3 position, the more Justin Allgaier pulls away. Down the back straightaway, his lead now up to 3, maybe 4 car lengths. Day by a nose into 3 for second.
Rajah Caruth moved Jesse Love up the track. Jesse Love hustling to try to get back to his back bumper. Across the line, 2 to go at the Martinsville Speedway.
Justin Allgaier all by himself with 4, maybe 5 car lengths in hand now as they spill out onto the back straightaway. That 2x2 battle for second place still hot and heavy into turn 3.
Jesse Love just moved Rajah Caruth in 2. Caruth returns the favor in 4. White flag is in the air. Final lap is underway at Martinsville.
On a day of bumps and bruises and pileups, Justin Allgaier's got a clean race car all alone at the front of the pack. Down the back straightaway as they crash behind him into turn 3.
Caution flag is out. Rajah Caruth, the driver that got spun by Brent Cruz, and that'll put us official. It's over. Justin Allgaier's won the NFPA 250 at the Martinsville Speedway. Allgaier breaks the tie for the number 7 spot with Joey Logano on the all-time wins list in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Allgaier gets the win. Sammy Smith will finish 2nd. Corey Day will be 3rd. Sheldon Creed 4th. And Lee Pulliam rounds out the top 5. Let's go to pit lane.
Andrew Overstreet, the crew chief on this car, just cued the radio and said, "Man, I love you guys." Andrew, congratulations. What a great win. 3rd one of the season.
Yeah, it's so special. This 7 group's been phenomenal to work with. Justin's been amazing to work with. It's truly a blessing to get to do this and get to see that Brandt car go to victory lane for the 3rd time this year. I think this is the first time that the corn car made it to victory lane, so it's really cool to do this for Rick Brandt.
There we go. That is Andrew Overstreet, the crew chief. This is a new combination. What? All Allgaier just burning the hides off that thing. This is a new driver crew chief combination, 3 wins in. They're having a good start to the season.
Justin Allgaier, Andrew Overstreet letting us have it in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. They've won again, 3rd time of the year. You'll hear from the race winner and the rest of the top 5 finishers in a moment as our post-race coverage from Martinsville begins.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 Tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the Motor Racing Network.
Back at Martinsville Speedway, it's all over, and Justin Allgaier is celebrating the win, and it's presented by Sunoco Race Fuel with zero carbon bioethanol. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
We'll be hearing from Justin Allgaier in a moment after winning the NFPA 250 here at the Martinsville Speedway. Right now, the balance of the finishing order has made their way into the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series garage with the finishers in positions 2 through 5 right here on the pit lane. Let's go to Steve Post.
Sammy Smith down here, second place run for you, Sammy. Just kind of describe the last 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 laps of that race.
Yeah, just so close again. I mean, it just kind of sucks, but congrats to the 7 team. It just was all about track position there. I would have had to been, close to move him. I think, overall it was a good day. Just I think we started too far behind stage 3, and I had to fight to get up in the position I was, and it was all about just trying to get ahead of the 7 all day, just to try to hold that track position. But just thanks to Pilot, Team Allstate Peterbilt Group, Brenda Group, Sinclair Tractor, JRM, everyone that works hard, and yeah, we'll move on to Rockingham.
Another great run here at Martinsville for Sammy Smith. Let's catch up with Corey Day. We talk to him, it seems like every week now up here in the top 5. Corey, you're getting closer and closer to the win. Just kind of describe the lessons learned in the afternoon here in Martinsville, Virginia.
Yeah, obviously, way better day than I've ever had here. So, yeah, a lot of fun, amazing cars. So thanks to all the 17 guys, Adam, Becker, Noah, yeah, the engineers, Michael and Jordan, just yeah, we keep getting better and better every time we've come here. This is the track I've actually ran the most out of any of them. So, yeah, it's just been fun to learn. Just such a different discipline than I'm used to. And, yeah, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, that's for sure. Corey Day, 3rd place finish here this afternoon.
Now let's go down and hear from our race winner. It's Justin Allgaier with Chris Wilner.
3rd win of the season for Justin Allgaier as he celebrates here on the front straightaway. Justin, how do you put a run like this start of the season, into words? 3 wins already, bud, and we're now just through 7 races.
It's incredible. I'm so proud of this race team. I'm Andrew Overstreet, everybody that works on this 7 car, the pit crew. I mean, we started off the season and they've gone to work, and it's shown in the last few weeks. And again, just proud of what we're accomplishing at JBMotorsports. At one point I looked up and I think every car in the top 5 was a JBMotorsports Chevrolet. So hats off to the Hendrick Engine Shop, Hendrick Chassis Shop, everybody that helps us put these cars together at the shop, at our shop at JBMotorsports. All of our partners, Brandt Professional Agriculture, Rick Brandt, what they've done for me and my career is beyond. I can't say thank you enough. All of our partners though, Tufco, Jarrett, Registics, Arby's, Carolina Carports, just all the companies that want to be a part of JBMotorsports and to help us get to the racetrack every week. It's special.
You've been through so many of these late restarts here at Martinsville. How are you able to just figure out where you need to be and when?
I don't know that I have figured it out. I got pretty lucky today. Corey Day, Sammy Smith both did phenomenal at the end of this race. Corey drove a heck of a race all day. We raced around each other a lot, and you're in those moments. You try to change it up, you try to do things, but it's hard when it's working. You don't want to screw it up. So, I think today brakes and transmissions were important. I gotta give a big thanks to Gear Tech and to Brembo. Getting through the gears and stopping was the key to the race today, and we did both of those really well. So, again, I'm beyond thankful because you never know when or if you're going to get another one, and to be able to have 3 this year already and to do it the way we've done it, it's pretty special.
And there was a moment you got to race with one of the legends at Martinsville, Lee Pulliam, too. What was that like?
I just told Dale, I said that's probably the hardest pass I've ever had to make because, Lee has been somebody that I've looked up to as a racer, right? Super successful. Great that he got the opportunity. I hated how the day ended for him, right? But he did a fantastic job today, and I'm so proud of what they accomplished this week. But I'll tell you the coolest part for me was he was in the shop all week, working his butt off to be ready for this opportunity. He got emotional in the media center, and it just shows how important this was to him, and to do it in front of his home crowd. And I mean, that had to be really special. So for me, look, I love winning, and I love having these opportunities, but when you see stuff like that, it makes you realize why we come to the racetrack and why we do what we do, and there's nothing cooler than that.
Congrats, Justin.
Thank you.
Justin Allgaier, 31st career win, his second here at Martinsville.
So Justin Allgaier is celebrating trackside as we continue speaking with the rest of the top 5 finishers. Back to Steve Post.
Lee Pulliam down here. Lee, saw you with Dale Jr. having a few words afterward. Can you just kind of sum up your day and your emotions today?
Real quickly, I just want to apologize to everybody for missing that shift on a restart. I'm a car owner and I work on these things, so I know how it is. But man, what an unbelievable experience to be out there and leading laps. And we got a pit road penalty for a loose tire, and we had to play a little different strategy. And my guys just had me such a good race car. We just didn't have much rear tire left there at the end. But just got to thank Folsom Fence Supply, Jerky Boys, Jerky, BRC, Carolina Drilling, the Hendrick Engine Shop, Exalta Chevrolet, and everybody on this junior motorsports team. It was a blessing. It was a true dream come true, and just cherished every moment of it. Just hate I made that little mistake there, and just didn't want to tear up all those cars.
There you go. He's emotional down here again. That's Lee Pulliam, a 5th place finish. We're going to go over here and catch up with Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed had a 4th place run here today. And I watched the end of all of these races at Martinsville, and Sheldon Creed is always on the screen, always here. How did you get 4th place here today?
Yeah, I just kept all the fenders on it there, and had a really solid car, honestly. Got kind of buried there in stage 2, but worked hard to get back. And last restarts at the end just kind of all worked out my way, and happy to run out of here top 5.
Top 5 finish. Again, Sheldon Creed, another good day here at Martinsville, Virginia.
Now, one of the things that we have been watching while we have heard from Justin Allgaier and all of the top 5 finishers, when Jesse Love got out of his race car, he marched back and proceeded to have a conversation with Rajah Caruth. They got together with 2 to go and 1 to go. Brent Cruz is the driver that turned Rajah around. Alex, this is a conversation, a very civil and peaceful conversation that is still going on, and by the time it's done, I believe that both sides will have a clear understanding of the other.
Yeah, they may not agree with the other side, but they are both making their point. It is not a one-sided conversation. I respect both those young drivers, and they pat each other. They patted each other on the back, and they have parted peaceably, had their conversation, got their points across back there. Well done by both of them. And I respect the fact that they walked up. Jesse Love walked up to Rajah when he got out of the car, put his hands behind his back, non-aggressive stance, and then once Rajah got done talking with his team, he said, let's walk around to the other side of the car to get away from all the microphones, all the media, and all the crew members, and just have a conversation over there. I think that's well done by our reigning series champion and a new and up-and-coming talent.
And that conversation just concluded just now. Here's the full field rundown from today's race. Justin Allgaier is the winner. Corey Day is second. Sammy Smith is third. Sheldon Creed fourth, and Lee Pulliam's fifth. Austin Hill finished in sixth. It was Dean Thompson in seventh. Ross Chastain, after starting last for DGM Racing today, he finished in 8th with Ryan Sieg 9th and Brent Cruz in 10th.
Parker Retzlaff was 11th. Jesse Love was 12th. Taylor Gray 13th. Brennan Poole was 14th. Anthony Alfredo 15th. Patrick Star-Poli was 16th. Blaine Perkins 17th. Brandon Jones 18th. Myatt Snyder was 19th, and William Sawalich was 20th.
Brad Perez finished in 21st. LeVar Scott was 22nd. Sam Mayer 23rd. Joey Gase 24th, and Rajah Caruth was 25th. Harrison Burton was 25th. 26th, that is. Garrett Smithley, 27th. Carson Quapple, 28th. Austin Green, 29th. And Jeb Burton finished in 30th.
Andrew Patterson was 31st. Josh Williams, 32nd. Nick Sanchez, 33rd. 34th was Kyle Sieg, and 35th, Josh Balicki. 36th was Ryan Ellis. Jeremy Clements, 37th. And Luke Baldwin finished today's race in the 38th position. It was a good day of racing, but we're not done here at Martinsville Speedway on the Motor Racing Network. Coming up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Virginia is for Racing Lovers 200, race number 2 on the season for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour from right here at the Martinsville Speedway. We hope you can join us for that broadcast. Big thanks to Dave Moody, who called all the action out on the corner for us today, with Steve Post and Chris Wilner on the pit lane. Big thanks also to Ryan Priest for joining us on today's broadcast. On behalf of Mike Bagley, my name's Alex Hayden. We congratulate Justin Allgaier. He's won the NFPA 250 from the Martinsville Speedway.